Hello, hello, and happy Wednesday, everybody. So, yesterday I started on stream just kind of doing research for the dialogue system. And then after the stream, once I'd settled on this yarn spinner library, I worked on some other parts of it. And here's what we have now. So, there's now a like semi themed dialogue that we have here. I did not get everything working, so this is not perfect yet. But if you go through here, I also automated a choice. So now it's going to go and select no for me here. And that was one of the key things I needed to do. So yeah, this stuff is working. This is concerning. 3 resources still in use at exit. I wonder what that's about. Because I quit the normal way to do that. All right, I'll write that down. Hey, Rod. Why won't... How do I copy this? There we go. As of this is still happening at exit, even through the pause menu. All right, so I added a command which will set the next auto choice. There are no guardrails. We should definitely add some. The chat I did yesterday suggested I manifest a dialogue runner. Yeah, I'll probably clean up what I did without making any like major changes, because not all of this is great. I'm also not super happy with the amount I needed to do. So this library that I got, Yarn Spinner, there are different components of it. There's like the parsing of .yarn stories, and then there's the UI of everything, and there's some other classes too. The UI didn't totally fit my needs, and the classes behind the UI didn't totally fit my needs. So I ended up recreating a few of those, which means if I ever update the library, I'm not going to get any of those changes now because they'd have to be pulled into my classes. Hey, DJ. Hey, Flair. Flair, thanks for the resub. Happy 11 months. Howdy, howdy, howdy. Hope you're both doing well. Yeah, so let's get ready to check this stuff in. I probably also should have named this the exact same thing as the library's names that we have. These are for, yeah, we gotta theme these properly. Theme the buttons for choices. All right, well, I won't worry about that now. So this is then pretty much fine, right? Why is this showing these changes at all? I don't understand this. I didn't have this class to begin with. Did I? Oh, no, I did make a check-in. I forgot. Yeah. Wow, I'm like purging all of the recollection I have of yesterday. All right, that's fine for now. Doing great. Finally have things going on in life other than video games. So no progress has been made in a few weeks. Oh, nice. Do you mind sharing? What are the other things? Looking forward to getting back deep into it tomorrow, though. Yeah. I think it's good to not have all your eggs in one basket. And also, I mean, I think sort of the definition of obsession is kind of tying your happiness to a thing. So I think it's, I'm not saying necessarily that you were obsessed, but it's good to have multiple eggs in multiple baskets. Romance. Wow. Awesome. Yeah. I think it's appropriate to say congratulations. Okay, this is good. This is not the stuff I was concerned about, though. Stuff I'm concerned about starts right about here. Yeah, so this is not the best. We'll fix that. I have a note to fix it. And then this stuff, I got to clean up the coding style for, because I don't like how any of this looks. So let's just close everything else that I have here. Open this file. So consider having this stay private. We fetch this for what reason? So that we can change the style box on it and then remove it later. Yeah, I'm fine having this be public then. I think that's okay. I think we should just make it like a proper public thing. Can I convert it to... How do you... There is no convert encapsulate field. I mean, I guess a field is fine. Property name button 1. Really? Interesting. So we can have a private setter here. But then I don't want this name button 1. I think just button is fine. Conflict with Godot button? Oh, interesting. Really? Really? You can name properties after something that already exists. Huh. I wonder if we just delete the field here and then name it button. Wouldn't that work? It still says conflict with a button. I don't think that's actually a real conflict. Well, what do we call this if not for button? I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. That's all I have. The button. It's kind of stupid. Oh no. All right, well, what if I didn't export this? What if we just did this? Does this change anything? Property button can be made private. No, so that's fine. So why do we have to worry about this here? I'm just going to change it, and let's just see what happens when I say next. Yeah, doesn't seem like there's a problem. The button. Hey, Zippy. Hey, Atomic. Wowie, 1 week. A week streak. All right, so now we fetch this from over here. Yeah, okay. Hey, Pickle. Now, this is technically nullable, but we never null it out. We could just check to see if it's valid at set time. Use it to update our properties. Hey, Cooter. Good day to you. Okay, well, we gotta fix all these other things, right? So why is this public? Is it expected to be used from other places? Does the other option item use it from other places? What even is that? A completion token? They do use it over here. Why don't we? I shouldn't have done anything about this. Token? We do use it. What is this? Create linked token source? This can't be right. Yeah, this can't be right. The cancellation token is pulled from... Oh, God. This is not good. Find out what calls this. Dialog presenter. Option cancellation token or option cancellation source. Where does this come from? Man. Both would be correct. 7 days is not WAK week. 3 days would be. Like in the JetBrains ID, yeah. Yeah, I think it's pretty good. Okay, I am a little concerned about this. So this is public here, but it's never accessed out. Oh, it is accessed outside of this. Oh, well then, whew, we don't need to worry about that. So then we should just change this to a field or something. Encapsulate field. Completion token. Placement field with a property would introduce struct copying at completion token. Is that a problem? What if I just change this to get private set? And now it's just the name that we need to rename this. And what, we never set this? Does something else set this? It's not going to compile anymore? It's not going to compile anymore. All right, let's keep going through this. So it does not match rule. This one's private. We can just make this lower or underscore. This is just apparently never used. Dialog option. It's the field backing this. Can we convert this to a field? Oh, hey Goose. Good morning. I think you should be able to convert this to a field. I don't know how you do that easily here. Well, I have another field somewhere else. I don't remember where I wrote that though. I guess we can just search for field. I don't have that many, right? Yeah, here. So we have field equals value. Yeah, that's all we need to do. So instead of this, we return field. And in this case, say field equals null, field equals value. We could just set this up here no matter what then. God, some of this code is not the best written. And then we don't need option ID here anymore, or this thing. I can just delete that. Is get implied redundant accessor? Oh, that's kind of interesting. Now, what's this problem? Backing field is assigned but never used. I guess we might need this eventually. Why does it say this is redundant then? And then here we start using value when we should be using field at this point, right? Dereference of possibly null value. I guess we know that it's not null at this point. We don't need to do anything there. Isn't even this a little bit strange? All right, I don't know. I just want to fix all the issues here. So what's this? Do not declare visible instance fields. Is this used outside of here? It is. On option selected. Get set. Text does not match. I mean, I'd probably call this label. All right, what other yellow do we see in here? Nothing. Except for this. Dereference of possibly null. So this should never be null. We can just check in ready and make sure it's not. Because I don't ever want to be able to set this afterward, right? It has a private setter anyway. Yeah, let's just do this. GD ready. If not is instance valid button, then throw a new... Yeah, sure, that's fine. Member with the same signature is already declared. Where? I didn't see that. We have ready here? Oh, they put it in a different spot than I normally put it. Oh, and they have it here. Nice. So then I think we can just delete this and assume that this is set. And then set this equal to that. Maybe that won't work for some reason, and then I'm being silly. So now this isn't needed anywhere else. Yeah, this isn't needed. We don't need this. We don't need to check this all over the place. I'm going to move this up above. So it's here where I expect it to be. Anything else? I think that's it. Yeah, well, that was a decent amount of work. Stuff like this that I wonder if I could trust AI with it. All right, so I broke something. That's nice. In the tiny amount of work I just did. No button. Oh, because it probably unset it in the scene. Wait, no, it doesn't even... It's not even fetched here. I don't know why, if this is the scene, that we would set this through an export property. Yeah, like just have it fetch its own children here. It just seems kind of silly. Yeah, why even have this be exported? Okay, fine. Let's do that then. Button and rich text label. So now this does not need to be exported. It can be set in ready, and the label can be too, and this doesn't need to be exported. So I'd put it like that. Nah, I guess it moves it anyway. All right, so button equals get node button label get label. Now we don't need to do these things. And now there's never a problem. All right. Code cleanup crew is done here. CCC. Still broken. Code cleanup crew calling back to the site. Node not found label. Did I call it something else? I called it rich text label. Okay, well, that's an easy to fix problem. Hey, Poilo. Sounds like a sign null, but trust that it isn't null. I like the late modifier from Dart. It's not actually assigning null. It's saying this is not really null. What I think your understanding is probably correct there. Yeah. It's a nicely cut grass. Yeah. Hey, Matt. All right. Nice. Nice. So that's one class. Now we have one more class to do this for, which is this one. All right. What's the problem here? Can be made private. Yeah, sure. That's fine. Now, why is it yellow or orange? Name does not match. Oh, yeah, sure. Easy peasy. Okay, what's this? Does not match private name. Yep, rename. Cool. All right, fade down duration. This is public for what reason? Because of no reason? Yeah, there's no reason for this to be public. Which means that then its name can change. Probably all this is that way, right? Fade up duration. Yeah, I don't even think I use these. So we could delete them if I wanted to. Good. What's all this stuff now? Just change the names of these. That's fine. Which is going to break everything. Oh, no. It's probably already broken. I don't use most of this anyway. So we should probably delete it. Yeah, I should probably delete this stuff. Maybe the same thing with fading if I don't use it. Last line text, last line container. I think we just delete all of it. Last scene line. Call to dismiss the options view. Yeah, I think we get rid of all this stuff. It also doesn't have some of the properties that I just didn't want for SIABT, e.g. seeing the last line of text. I see. Gotcha, Toulouse. And hi. Hey, Dark. Yeah, if we had... Yeah, anyway. Okay, so option parent. Was this used? How much of this... Option parent is used, and presenter control is used too. So option parent is needed, presenter control is needed. Shows last line, I think we have off. Yeah, so I'm going to delete that too. I probably should copy paste this before I mess this up. Show unavailable options, that will leave. And then what is this? Use fade effect? Yeah, we'll leave that too for right now. All right, so there's a whole bunch of stuff that we should just delete now, right? Finished. What else? This. Local variable as assigned, but its value is never used. I don't need this there. Update last line if one is configured. So none of this should be needed, right? Now what else? Hey, Soak. Do you make tool scripts with C#? I found it to be buggy with a hot reloading and the order the nodes get loaded. We only had like one tool script for Skeleseller. So I haven't really made a tool script myself yet. So yeah, I can't comment on the bugginess. All right, so that yellow stuff I want to fix. This is redundant apparently because what? This is always a node 2D. And this too. All right, we're getting there. We're very slowly getting there. Actually, it's not very slow. It's reasonably quick. Nullable is redundant. All right, any other issues here? Yeah, this stuff, just the word style box, apparently should have been renamed to capitalized B style box. Is that right? Rename to what? It's complaining about that, right? Yeah. I think this is how Godot calls them, though. And if it's what they use, that no, they capitalize the B. Okay, never mind. I'm just a dummy. Whoops. Tried to pass the blame. It's easy to fix. I just didn't realize it was a problem. And then here too. All right, there. Green gone. Now for the yellow. This is easy enough. This is do not declare visible instance fields. Do we need this outside of here? No, we do not. So we make you private and then we change the name. Presenter control is already private, so just change the name. All right, what else? Do not declare visible instance fields. Is this used outside of this? No. Okay, make it private. Change the name. Do not declare visible instance fields. Not used outside of here. All right, making great progress. So now the only problems we have are down here. Let's try running this again. Hey, Phil. Oh, it broke already. But why? Make sure to set, oh yeah, whoops. This is because I recreated the scene and now I need to set these things. Option parent. This and this. And that should work. No, it's broken. Can't create new option view. Oh yeah, the prefab's null. I just didn't see that. Yeah, this is supposed to be option item.tstn. Okay, my bad. Let's try this. Hey, Boolean. Happy Wednesday. Make sure inspector references are reassigned. Yeah, it's annoying that you have to do that. All right, you can't click these yourself, by the way. This is supposed to show that it's automated at one point, which is a cool trick in this game. All right, so what's yellow about this? Append, configure away. I got to figure out what you're supposed to do here. Configure away. I want to see what this does. Configures an awaiter used to await this task. True to attempt to marshal the continuation back to the original, otherwise false. So what do we want to do here? I mean, we definitely want to configure this. Attempt to marshal the continuation back to the original context, otherwise false. I don't know. I don't know what we want. Let's set it to false. And then do the same thing down here. No, what's this? Call async methods when in an async method. Cancel itself as async. It's not. Use async overload. Oh, I see. Interesting. And then configure await. All right. I didn't know there's a cancel async. I wonder if there's going to change anything. And then we have one more piece of yellow over here. Where is it though? I don't see it. Oh, empty statement. I didn't see that there. All right, there we go. Yellow removed. I think this is fine. I'll change the comments very slightly here. There. If we are canceled, we still need to return. What's it complaining about here? Oh, I see. All right, let's go try that out now. Yeah, we have a lot of dialogue stuff to clean up today, but in general, this is going pretty well. So if I go to my yarn story over here, what's it called? Farming.yarn. So this is what I now have as a command that we can call set next auto choice index. Is there a comment feature in this? Yarn spinner dev comment. Descriptive comment. How do you type this? No. How do you make comments? Yarn spinner language. Comment starts with // Okay, yeah, good. Okay, so I just put a / here. So now it will not automatically choose this. And now I would get the choice. So now I can select these, and I believe I made it so that you can use a controller for this. Yeah, nice. Now you also see it moving the character there. I gotta fix that. Oh, and you see it breaking. I gotta fix that too. What's going on there? Function get modulate on this node can only be accessed from either the main thread or a thread group. Use call deferred. Interesting. Hey, ABC. All right, where's this coming from? Here. Line 260 of options presenter. Options presenter 260. I don't even have the fade effect on. Why is it even doing anything? Oh, it is on, apparently. What should I have set this to true? I don't know, let's just try it. Because that was not my code. I chose yes, not that that probably matters. Oops, I chose no this time anyway. But it still didn't work. And it's probably the same issue. Yeah. How did this work for them? If you just don't configure in await, does this magically work? Or is this cancel async? It's a cancel async that's doing this. Yeah, because this used to just be cancel. But by putting it async, it would be on a different thread. Hey, Giganzo. Good morning. So now it's still not working. What did I do? What's going wrong? I don't know what else I changed. That's the problem. And we can diff this, but we're going to have to diff it across like a bunch of formatting changes too. Options presenter. So I want to compare this with the prior tab. Yeah, there's so much to look at here. What function is this? Cancel. Line 328, and the function is run options async. Okay. Run options async. Here we go. Okay, so what did I change? Because this never happened before. I added some configure awaits. Yeah, like there. 7 streams. Nice. Give advice to not be try to push every different kind of option presenting in one class. Oh, this is from the Yarn Spinner library. Like I just took their class, copy pasted it into my own, and then deleted a bunch of stuff. And I was just trying to make it match my code style. So I plan on hopefully never touching this again after we're done with the dialogue stuff. All right. I mean, all I did is add configure awaits. If I turn them off, does that somehow magically fix this? I guess let's try it, but it's not a great answer. That's the only fade we have, right? No, we have this too. Use fade effect. I don't think this one complained, which means it might be coming from the cancel. I don't know. Options presenter sounded very generic. Yeah, the options in this case are the options for dialogue. These are options in this case. Okay, so that worked and it faded out. So we can't have configure await set the way that we did. Or rather, maybe we have to configure it to be true. Alternatively, we just ignore the response here because the fading out happens later. True is default. Yeah. All right, so I just have to press the button a bunch of times. Okay, so that did not cause an error. We're gonna just keep trying this. Configure await, true. Does this cause an error? No, good. Now can we change this to cancel async? Yeah, cool. That does it. Okay. All right, and that's everything, right? No more errors? 6 grammar, 3 style. I'll look at the style suggestions. Oh, no, those are still English style. I don't care about that. There's another file that I messed with, though, this one. And this just has a check mark here. No problems found. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. All right, yeah, that was a lot of cleanup. So now what's this? Option item I added. Yep, sure. And then these things I added. Cool. Cool, 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 cool. All right, so add... What did I do? Allow for automate... Oh, wait. Farming yarn. Uncomment that. Allow for automating dialogue choices. I had to make my own versions of some yarn spinner classes. Options item and options presenter. I used a yarn command to allow setting the automated choice directly from the yarn script. What else did I do? Is that it? I think that's pretty much it. Yeah. This is still a bit rough around the edges. All right, great. That took, what, 30 minutes? Hey, Chili, it is going pretty well so far. Hope yours is too. Okay, so I added a command, which will set the next auto choice. There are no guardrails. We should definitely add some. And I should manifest a dialogue runner from options presenter. Let's go try that. So I'm just going to close everything. We're going to go to farming game. And then this stuff shouldn't be here. So options presenter should manifest its own dialogue runner, which we should be able to set through an export property. So what do we have here? Let's just take this. And let's say dialogue runner. Whoop. Okay, so now we set that through the editor. Where'd the thing go? Do I have to click it again? There it is. All right, good. So now that's set. And we could say like that. And then instead of doing this here, we're going to do this. And this will go from ready. Good. And then we need this function to be over here. Easy. Easy. You always need true, but it has some cost. You set false when in backend. Yeah, some UI thread. Got it. Yeah, thanks. Yeah. I should just write this down as a note somewhere. Nice. Okay, so now it should pick this for me. Yep. Love it. So this is done. This is not needed. This is still needed. This is not needed. This is done. So I should just check in what I did so far, right? We manifest a dialogue runner here. Yeah, it looks good. This is so much better. So much better. Great. Changed yarn command registration. I used to do this from the farming game, not from the options presenter. I got this idea from Claude yesterday. All right, commit. All right, added a command. We'll set the next auto choice. No guardrails. Yeah, let's go get the guardrails. Auto choices and options presenter. And we don't check to see if any of this works. So run auto choose. What do we do if you try picking something that doesn't exist? So let's say you have options like yes and no. 0 is yes and 1 is no. And we say automatically pick option number 5. So option 1 would be error out, since this is kind of meaningless. And option 2 is pick an option clamped to the range. So 0 to 1 in this case. So you say pick option 5 and it would pick no in that case. I think error out is probably more reasonable. The only way this wouldn't be more reasonable is if we had a variable number of options and you wanted to be like, oh, pick the second from the end or something. Well, second from the end, you probably have negative numbers for this. Yeah, I think we'll just error out for now. I think it's the most reasonable thing. So run auto choose. If option items dot count is less than auto pick choice minus 1, then throw new something you figured out for me. Yeah. Okay, now let's go try that. Farming yarn. So I'm going to set this to choice number 3. And it should just fail. Hey, Charlie. Thanks for looking into that dialogue manager stuff yesterday. So it should... What's going on? It didn't fail. What is going on? Auto pick choice is 3. Count is also 3. Oh, whoops. This is just supposed to be if it's less than this. Because it's 0 indexed. Wait, what? Okay, I'm just being dumb apparently. Let's try this again. Because I don't know what I'm doing. Apparently don't know how to count. Oh, wait. The number of option items could be a different number here. If it's, I guess, greater than or equal to this? No, that doesn't make any sense. What am I doing? +1? We have 3 things. No. Okay, there, we're done. Just ignore that I ever even struggled with this. So I assume it threw an error. I don't actually see where this went. Maybe something up the stack is catching this. Oh, this is asynchronous. Where do we call run auto choose? Here it is. Hey, LA, how you doing? Is there a way to like fail a task? C# fail a task? How to make a task fail and then assert the exception. Exception async. Task.from exception. That's what I want. Task.from exception. Return task.from exception. Surprised it didn't complain about this. Return type is void. What? It's not void, it's a task. Kicks it back to the guy and went straight to him. Nice. And like, it only happens once in a lifetime. Next time this is going to happen, it'll be a frisbee that gets thrown at you and you'll try to throw it back and it'll just like roll across the ground. You'll just walk away from it. Hey, Franken. Method return void? This returns a task, though. What am I doing wrong? Change type of run auto choose to task. Oh, do I need to like from exception void? I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, probably a better way to do this. Or do they have an example down here? Static task long. From exception long. How would I have it not return anything here? Task is void for async. Oh, it is? Oh. Well, either way, you know what we should do is probably just run auto choose. And then down here, we say run auto choose async. And this one's void, and this one does the check, and this doesn't need anything special now. And then run auto choose async. All right, now what's the problem here? Oh yeah, that's fine. Okay, that should fix it. Unisizer. Hey, Rami. I auto choose you. I use Thunderbolt. All right, so this error should be an expected error saying that we don't have that many options. Yeah, auto pick choice 3 is out of range for 3 options. But now we go set it back to some other number. Let's say 0. Oh, should we check for negatives? Might want to check for negatives. You can't call this function if you have negatives anyway. In fact, we should pass an if statement into that. It's super effective, but the opponent is Onyx. I guess I electrocuted it. All right, that looks good. Let's go change one other tiny little thing here, which is run auto choose if on. Run auto choose if on. So this is where is auto picking comes in. So if not is auto picking, return. All right, I think that looks a little bit nicer. Now this is doing a tiny bit more. It's validating that you even should do this. Then it runs the async thing here. Oh, it's in a tutorial that's broken. Actually, that could be kind of funny if we have a creature collecting game and none of the types make sense. Like, use your water attack. Your water attack strengthened the Pokemon. It's evolving. Turbo Blastoise just murdered you. All right, looking good. So what do we even do here? Because I'm not paying attention to anything now. This is not needed. So all we did is change... Oh, yeah, we added guardrails. Add guardrails to auto pick choice index. Not really guardrails, it's guardrail. So commit that. All right, done with that. Consider whether we need to allow scrolling. That's something we'll do later. I don't think this matters right now. All right, next. I don't want the lines to be hidden when the options are showing. Yeah, this one's a little bit more complicated. So options presenter, and we have a line presenter. Am I going to need my own line presenter for this? Yes. Oh, God. Can we just inherit from this? Everything's public. Yeah, we should be able to inherit from this. And we just override this one function to do nothing. It's not virtual, though, so you can't do that. There is another trick we could do here, but it's very stupid. We could add another line presenter and just set this back to be visible. Is there some other way? Hey, Kevin. Okay, let's just turn this off first. Let's just comment this out. I'm now modifying add-on code, which I don't want to do. But let's at least make sure it works. So now we should see options on top of this dialogue, I think. No, it still disappeared. Why? Do we have fade out stuff here? Because it's fading out. We do have fade out. Fade from 0 to 1. Fade from 1 to 0. And then set it to invisible. So let's just not do that stuff. Again, I just want to test to make sure that this works the way I expect. And I think it does. I don't know where else this would get hidden. Yeah, this is more what I want. Because I want you to see the choices based on the dialogue appearing. Oh, but if you can scroll this, then you wouldn't be able to scroll it once you can see the choices. This. We could auto scroll it when you get to the choices. when the options show up, the left stick on the controller would switch between your selection there. So I guess option 1 would be obviate the need for scrolling and just always by changing string length, font size, or splitting up the text. Option 2 requires scrolling in some instances. When showing options, have it auto scroll up and down. Hey, Pressel. We got the trio here now. At least Matt was here earlier. We used to have the smoothie crew. We had Blueberry King, Tropical Banana Man. I think there was one other fruit name. Can't remember what. Yeah, anyway. Those are the old days. Yeah. What about pickles? I would not put pickles in a smoothie. Maybe in a hamburger reduction. Imagine blending up a hamburger. Probably be disgusting. Yeah, I don't want the lines to be hidden. So I'm still not totally sure how we should do this. Short of just making a new line presenter. What is this function? Run line async? Yeah. Run lines async has the fade out and subsequent hide. Well, not hide call. Visible equals false. Visible equals false. I think I would need to make my own entire line presenter. Is that what this is called? Yeah, line presenter. And it's like 400, 500 lines of code. Man, I don't want to do this. It's not hard to copy paste it and just change one function, but this is why I feel like these things should be virtual so that you could change them by extending them. I guess we could modify the add-on and just set it to virtual. This is a family-friendly space. There are probably some foods that taste good and are like a good texture when you eat them that would still be good as a smoothie. So like a pie, maybe. A pie would probably work. Tastes good to eat, probably tastes good to drink. But anything where I feel like the texture is more complex probably wouldn't be very good anymore. I wonder what the most complex food that you could blend and still enjoy would be. Oh man. I would eat an apple pie smoothie. Yeah, that sounds delicious, right? Never had a bad tasting piece of chocolate cake. I think chocolate cake, when it's too dry, it's not necessarily bad tasting, but it's not pleasant to eat. Like, I don't want a dry cake. Chocolate sand. It's just cocoa powder. You just throw it in someone's face. They open their mouth. Yum. It tastes like the desert. All right. I'm going to ask AI about this because I don't want to struggle with this. Well, okay. I like only asking it once I've come up with at least something myself. So what would I do here? Option 1, make a brand new line presenter, but only change one function. This is a waste of like 500 lines of code. Option 2, change the add-on so that the method is virtual and then override that. And option 3 is add another line presenter, but the other line presenter wouldn't have the same. We're changing the visibility of the presenter control. Oh, but we're also fading it out. So I turn off the fade effect. No, but I want the fade effect. Hang on. How do we do this? Does this ever fade out when you... We only do this here? Yeah, I think this is it though. Add another line presenter that sets this back to visible. And just stop using the fade. Hey, Trackley. I think we should try option 3. Yeah, I think we should try option 3. All right, let's go do it. Where's my code? Add class line presenter, or like always shown. Always showing. It's not always showing though. Line presenter that shows while options are present. This is kind of what I want to name it. I'll just say always showing. Yeah. And we'll need to do some stuff here. All right, so let's go find out what this does. This inherits from node and dialog presenter base. So we want this exact same thing here with this. Then we want to import the missing references. Then we need to implement all these functions. That's it. That can't be right. Unless the base of this has abstract methods, does it? Run line async. I don't follow. How does this work? Yeah, how does this work? What? How can both of these things exist at once? I don't understand. Yeah, I don't understand. Hey, just draw cats. Can't imagine the add-on doesn't accommodate for this, as it feels like such a standard thing. I just joined, so I might miss some context. No, I agree with you. And I think that the line presenter, like I should be able to add another one of these and put it in the chain of these presenters that show up. Although something I'm currently puzzling over is how, oh, this is an interface. Oh, okay. It's an interface with a default implementation. Yeah, I guess so. All right, well, that explains that. So then I can change this run line async. I actually don't want to change the entire thing. I just want to set the visibility of the presenter control. So I guess let's copy paste the whole function for now. But I don't need the whole thing. And action markup handlers. Do I even need any of those? Action markup handlers. Here they are. What do we use these for? On prepare for line. I don't think we need to do anything here. But this is required because of dialog presenter base. A worry? Yeah, it is. All right, that's probably something we can just ignore for now. All right, so let's delete everything here. And there. Now, where's the presenter control come from? An export, right? Yeah. But we make this private now. And then rename the whole thing. Okay, let's try that. Then we just have to return something from run lines async. We don't return anything. I guess it just doesn't need to be async. But in this case, it has to match the interface. Otherwise, it won't get called. I'm kind of surprised this is highlighted here. But yeah, let's go try this out. So I want to go add in another line presenter. So let's go instantiate in a new node. And we'll put this here, I guess. No, I want it next to it. There we go. All right, and we call this line presenter always showing. Then we give it the script I just added. And then we set it inside of something. This maybe? Yeah. And then just rearrange it. Not that it matters. And then try running it. And yeah, hopefully it works. Oh, right. I still have fade out. So it's going to fade out and then reappear. It did not reappear. I wonder if the order is preserved. I mean, this should be getting called here. Maybe. Oh, I didn't set this, did I? Never mind. This is a dumber problem than I thought. I just need to change this to be the presenter control. And now we delete the breakpoint over here. Stop this. Run this. All right. So like I said, now it should fade out and then immediately reappear. And we just stop the fade out from happening. It did not immediately reappear. Still need to figure out why not. All right. So let's see. Is this getting hit? Gets hit immediately. I don't actually care about right now. So it's every time we run lines. And I guess what we care about is where's it getting hit in relation to this. So we have the run lines async and then the fade out. Fade effect. Here it is, but that's 0 to 1. We want the 1 to 0. Why did this stuff change? I probably accidentally hit save. Yeah, I probably did. Okay. Let's play again. So now we get choices. None of that got hit? Oh, so this is just not when this is supposed to happen. Yeah, whoops. This is when you start showing a line. I need it when you're done showing a line. Okay. Hey, Nate. All right, so what function is that? Dialog presenter base presumably has it. Dialog complete. Maybe it's that. Run line, run options. Or maybe it's run options. I just make this thing show again. I mean, you could try that for now. Run op. Oh, wait, no, not like that. Let's go to our options presenter. Run options async and just copy paste this. Great. Get the cancellation token. And then figure out what this is supposed to return. Completed task. Completed task is what exactly? Selected option completion source dot task. No, we want this at the beginning. Selected option. Where does that come from? Okay. I mean, even what I'm trying to do here is not the right way to do this. Task. It's supposed to be the completed task. Yeah. Yeah, the thing I want to change is, well, it was this. But yeah, this is going to fade out, then show it again. I need to stop the fade out. I guess I can do that too. I can't stop it from hiding itself. Oh, nice. It's just working. And then when you're done with this, we need to show you the next options, which now we don't do for some reason. Okay. It might be worth asking how I should do this. Yeah. All right. Let's do a new chat. Add files. Oh, I got to pick the specific files. I guess that's where plan comes in. Problem is this goes through like, it just burns through tokens. They made in their own repos or all in the same? They're all in the same one. Because they're all part of the same game. They're all part of the same executable too. All right, so I'm going to ask Sonnet Medium. Because yesterday I tried something and it went through like, I don't know, half of my quota in one query. So when I show a dialogue using Yarn Spinner in the, what is that scene that we have? And why is this not working? In the farming game scene. It presents, I guess, like line presenter will show, hang on a second though, this isn't even how this works, is it? Options async. Maybe this is what I messed up here. This should have just been like that. Oh, now what's the problem here? Is this not run options? It is run options, but it's a yarn task instead. Huh. Okay, let's try that. Point to specific files. Might stop you from trying to load a lot more things into this context. Yeah, I might want to do that. I want to give it all the add-on though to be able to inspect that code. Okay, now it advances. All right, so then this works. What happens if we get done with this? It doesn't fade out now. Why wouldn't it fade out though? Because the fade out should still be happening. Yeah, here. But this is when you're done with the line. If I comment this out completely, does something different happen? Because now we have no extra code here. Oh, it's probably going to use the default implementation of showing lines, right? But still, yeah, what happens at the end of this? No, it faded out correctly. So this is the problem somehow. I just don't get how. All we're doing is setting this thing to visible. And we awaited this. All right, I will probably ask it. I still want the fade to happen at the end. I think I should be able to figure this out myself though. And either way, I've got to take a break pretty soon, yeah. Well, it's like mostly working the way I want. And yeah, theme the button for the buttons for choices and like make sure they show up in the expected area of the dialogue. Yeah. Okay. It's going pretty well. Yeah, it's going pretty well. All right. Is it jump time? It's jump time. Okay, I'll be back in a little bit. Have fun playing Jump Royale. See you all soon. Okay, hello again. Close the game. Yeah, so let me see what our current behavior is. This is a little bit tricky. So it advances and it just disappears. How did it just disappear? What would even do that? This is only trying to make it show itself. And this awaits and then returns. And fade alpha should just be changing modulate, right? Do we have any visibility here? Control visible is true if we set it to 1. But not if we set it to 0. Huh. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's causing this to go wrong. And it's only coming from this. Well, we could put in some prints here. Like, my code is setting the text to hidden. And then this is its code. Add-on code is fading out the text. And then add-on code is hiding the text. This isn't hidden. Is showing the text. Yeah. All right. Let's see what's going on, at least from just a logging perspective here. So it's hiding. Now my code causes it to show here because we have options showing. That's fine. That's fine. Oh, I understand now. Okay, I get it. When we're done with the dialogue, we fade this out. And then when I show the options, I just make it visible again. So we need to know that there's going to be more dialogue afterward. No, not really. We just need to know that you chose an option. So we can't just do this. We need to wait for you to have chosen. Why is it always Grandpa that gives us a farm? Well, in this case, it's a reference to Stardew Valley. But yes, mostly it's because you're legally obliged to do that. Hey, Galaxy Inferno. All right, I am gonna probably ask AI about this and see what it recommends. I wonder if we should even give it the working tree with my changes, or if I should just stash these for a second. The old Harvest Moon games did that too. Yeah, I didn't really play those games, so I didn't realize that they had done that. But that's probably why. Whatever the first game was, they probably just thought, yeah, this is a pretty good storyline. So I don't want any of these changes here, right? I have a printout, but yeah, this is what my problem is. So my problem is that I hide the text when showing the options, or I show the text when showing the options, and the add-on hides the text when the text is complete, but before we've shown the options. And what I want is the text doesn't get hidden at all when options show, but the text does get hidden when the dialogue is totally done. We should be able to tell when it's totally done, though. There were some events. Where are those events? Wait, didn't I write it over here? On character will appear. I thought there was something else there. I don't remember. Line provider? It's not line provider. It's this, line presenter. There's some signals in here, aren't there? No. Dialogue presenter? No. Dialogue runner? Ah, here they are. On dialogue complete. A signal that's emitted when the dialogue runner stops running dialogue. All right, where does this come from? Dialogue runner? I mean, I guess we could listen for it and then just hide this ourselves, and everything would probably work okay. It just still feels like this is kind of hacky. But then again, is it? Is it kind of hacky? Could just listen for the dialogue runners. What is this thing called? On dialogue complete. Signal and fade out the dialogue. Yeah, I am curious if there's a better way to do this. So fine, let's ask the question. So when I show a dialogue using this, line presenter will fade itself out when let me look at this again. The line finishes and about to go away. So if I turn this off, when does it fade out? It's got to be once we advance, right? So when I press A here, it fades out. So yeah, it waits for you to be done. So we must have some kind of wait here. Yeah, here it is. Wait until canceled. Next line token. Okay. All right, so when I show a dialogue using Yarn Spinner and Farming Game, line presenter will fade itself out when after what? This? After awaiting this. However, I want to keep the dialogue present while the options are showing for that dialogue, and only fade the dialogue out when the dialogue is totally finished. How can I do this without changing the code in add-ons? Or fully duplicating line presenter? Yeah, I think it's pretty reasonable. The only questionable thing is that I added a file and also, I guess, kind of technically changed this, but the technically changing this part doesn't matter. So just roll that back. This doesn't really matter. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, let's just ask. Now, I have been thinking about this a little bit more. Did you vibe code a journal? No, this is Claude desktop. And I'm just asking, like, what's the best strategy for doing this? So I've been trying to do this a little bit more because I've been thinking about it. And I think in terms of development workflow, again, these are like my opinions. They have to do with AI. But in terms of development workflow, this is sort of like doing a bunch of internet searches, except for you would never have found something if you did internet searches. This Yarn Spinner library is used by some people. So if I go to this, you'll see this is not like a tiny GitHub repo. It's got about 3,000 stars. But in terms of just issues, it's got fewer than 300. So it's like, has someone else hit this exact problem? Maybe. Do I want to go looking through this stuff? Probably not. And what if it wasn't listed here? I think the AI will do a better job at finding out, like, yeah, is there potentially a better way? And I like that I still process the information at the end. I'm not asking it to do this for me. But there is a lot of grunt work that I think I would like to ask it to do. So the more I think about it, the more I think using more AI for this project is probably a good idea. But I still want to keep away from the creative stuff with it. I just want to speed up development time. Thought you made something nifty for your daily journal? No, I'll still just type that manually, I think. Hey, Caveman. Love my OpenClaw setup. I haven't used OpenClaw. That I'm a little bit more hesitant to use. And I wonder what people use it for in general. Because there are some things that I think it would be pretty sensible Oh, Philip, thanks for the bits. Yeah, there's some things that would be sensible. Like I type some rough notes and it could file them for me, but I don't really want to automate that stuff right now. It's like one thing you got to make sure you never do is automate out your enjoyment of something. So like, let's say you're playing, I don't know, an RPG and it's like really grindy. If you enjoy the grind, then automating it would make you not find the RPG fun. But if you're the kind of person who wants to get to the end game, then yeah, automating it is probably fun for you. It's probably also against the terms of service of the RPG. But it's kind of the same thing with coding too. It's like if you enjoy coding, you probably wouldn't want to automate it. But I don't think anyone enjoys every aspect of coding. Like if you're 15 years into your career and you're making, you know, another CRUD application, you're probably like, oh God, I don't want to do this. I have a whole team of agents set up, primarily interactive, that I call my executive agents that then manage departments of specialists. But I mean, what like tasks do you use it for? I understand the agent setup, but like, is it to, I don't know, respond to emails? Is it to book appointments? Is it to organize your work? That sort of thing. I love coding until I get stuck. I'm just glad I don't have to fight a 150-year-old Stack Overflow user anymore. 150-year-old Stack Overflow user. um, yeah, I don't even mind getting unstuck necessarily, but in this case, it's like I can get something working, but what if it's just a really stupid way and there's something obvious I'm missing? And this is something that I realized I benefit a lot from just streaming this. Like I've mentioned a bunch of ideas on stream, and then chat will augment it in some way where I'm like, I never would have come up with that myself, and it's just so much better. I think it's just nice to have another set of eyes, even if they're robotic eyes, AIs. That should have been the pun I used. Hey Magnus, help with outbound marketing, blogging, email filtering, development stuff. They have their own GitHub accounts or interact with production repos. Yeah, yeah, I see. Yeah, I think this is something that we'll probably start seeing more and more. And I do kind of wonder what the impact will be on consumption of a lot of resources. So like right now, it's different reading a blog from reading it 10 years ago. Also, please do try to keep mindful of the no segmenting rule in here. A lot of project requirements. Yeah, boilerplate. Yeah. Okay, so proposed a plan. Can we open this? What's going on? I clicked open. I know it's over here, but I thought it would open in a new window or something. Excuse me. Okay, so line presenter, run line async, hides presenter control at the end of its execution, right after a wait. Dialog runner then calls run options async on all presenters. Since the line panel is already hidden by then, the player sees no dialog text. Use fade effect equals false. The hide is instant, no fade out to worry about. Existing line presenter always showing node in the scene is already wired correctly. It's a separate helper that holds a reference. Just lacks a real implementation. I mean, yeah, I didn't think I'd confuse the AI by having this here, but yeah, this is my fake thing that I put in. Implement run options async to re-show it the moment options appear, because the hide and show both happen in the same async chain. There's no visible flicker. And this already sets it to false when the dialog ends, so no extra teardown is needed. Files to change. Place current stub with this. So what do you have here? Run lines async sets it to visible. This is not the entirety of what I want. Because this is what I already have coded. Did I not make this clear? I mean, I did ask Sonnet instead of asking Opus. And I'm guessing that this already used a bunch of my quota. Let's see how much it used. 17%. You made it clear you just picked the wrong model. Yeah. It's just the thing is, when I did this yesterday, it consumed like 60% right off the bat. It's like, do I want to be able to ask 2 queries? This is the issue with being kind of money limited on these. And I don't know. This is one of those things where like I could just pay more. Yeah, do we ask the other model? I mean, probably. And I probably turn this off and just see what it'll come up with. Caught you as much at the end, yeah. Just the problem is if the higher model doesn't return the right answer at first, then I'm like, I'm out of options. How's Yarn treating you? It seems like it's pretty good. Hey, Deus. Okay, so how about this? Let's try again without my file existing. Like I'll just copy paste this into here and we'll save this as some temp thing here, right? What do I call this? Like line presenter always showing.cs. Yeah. So now we'll just gut that from the repo. And I guess I could just stash everything, right? Get status. What is all this? Why is DS store showing up in untracked files? Because it's in... Wait, what? Is it not in my git ignore? Oh my god. Oh, normally it's in my git ignore. Oh, no. Oh, I made a mistake. Okay. I should have typed Mac in here. Whoops. Yeah, whoops. Okay, let's go fix that. Git ignore. So paste this here. I was checking those in the whole time. Oh no, I was. Okay, how do you figure out all the DS stores that you added? And like, can I just delete these? I don't think this causes a problem on Mac, does it? If it does, then I'm out of luck here. Yeah, all right, so get see all DS store files added. Oh wait, I can just do this on the repo. What am I doing? Yeah, I can just search over here, DS store. I apparently did not check any in. Why is this just a problem now? Maybe IDEA knows not to check those in. It might, because I've been doing things mostly through the IDE, and I probably added these through the command line. Okay, well, then that's probably fine. All right, so let's go check this in. Get status. So we want to commit, or I want to remove this. What is it? I don't think I've ever actually done this. Remove a file. All right, I should maybe just do this from over here. No, we don't have this in... What's the opposite of git add? Is it like git reset? And I don't care if I lose this file anyway. Okay, well, I reset everything accidentally, but still, it doesn't matter. It's not like I have any real changes here. All right, so git... No, I just want to delete that, right? Yeah. No such file. All right. Yeah, out of curiosity, K-Man, how much you end up paying for this? And EB, what are you looking for? Because I'm happy to share whatever it is you want. I might already have a command too, just not goals. Seem to recall JetBrains IDs having their own separate git ignore, yeah. Oh, I see. Restore -s stage to unstage. I don't want this file there, but I don't know how it's even getting that this file exists. Because this doesn't exist anymore, right? Yeah. Oh, because I got to do this. Right? Does that work? Yes. Okay. Got it. All right. So git ignore is fine. I don't want to modify this. So we do want to add that. And it should have deleted. Can I? Oh, God. I don't know what I'm doing wrong here. Didn't match any files. Had I never added it to begin with? Oh, I probably never added it. I guess I never made it into the repo. Yeah, I see. Okay. Oh, I see. Okay, that's not bad. Okay, man. Hey, Max. All right, so let's check just that in. I should just be adding that, right? So git commit -m add Mac OS specific .git ignore entries. All right, so now I just want to delete probably everything, right? The one thing I don't really want to delete is this, so let's just stash that. Good. Now I think we're working from a clean slate, right? Yeah, except for these, which I can just delete. Delete. Good. Okay, totally clean slate. Now let's ask pretty much that same question. Can I copy this as Markdown? Oh, it's already copied as Markdown. And then how do I cancel out of this? I wanted, it looks like it's waiting for something, and I know it is waiting for me to revise the plan, but I don't want to actually continue this at all. Maybe I just leave it. Just feels wrong to do that. All right, well, new session. Awaiting input. Yeah, how do I? Huh. I'm not familiar enough with this to know how to stop it from even waiting for me. I want to just be like, I'm done. Don't do anything. I mean, eventually it's probably going to stop. All right, whatever. Say so. Yeah, but that'll probably make you use more tokens to read what I have. I'll just leave it. All right, and I showed dialogue using this. So we don't want to be on main. We want to be on this. Yeah. I'll fade stuff out after waiting this. I want to keep the dialogue present while the options are showing for that dialogue and only fade it out when the dialogue is totally finished. To be clear, the fade out should still happen, but only at the very end. How can I do this mostly see without changing the code or fully duplicating line presenter? Okay, so let's ask the correct model here, Opus. And I think medium should be enough here, because I think high is going to use the entirety of the rest of my quota. But who knows? Maybe, yeah, maybe this will be a problem. All right, let's just do it. See what happens. I set it to high. I'm not setting it to max. I don't even think we do one max query. I set up rules or guidelines for the AI to follow. No, I only just signed up for Claude on Sunday, and I still need to figure out like what's the best way to use this. How much do I want to incorporate? Do I want to pay more for this? Do I want to use a different AI agent? So actually, one of the things I was debating on, because the problem that we have here is you can see before I ran this query, I was already at 17% for my 5 hours. So I can pretty much run like 2 queries. And then that's it. I'm done. I say pretty much run 2 because this is on a cheaper model. So now I'm guessing this is going to be at like 90% when we're finished here. This is on the $20 a month plan. So do I go up to 100 and then I can run, 10 queries? Or do I try a different AI and then I can run like, I don't know, lower quality but more queries? Do I just pay 200 a month? I'm not sure. Hey, none. Unsolicited advice. Have a look at open code for AI stuff. Their build mode is meh, but plan mode is awesome. Yeah, I looked at Open Code Go, and I read some really bad things on Reddit about it. And who knows? I don't know. Maybe there's astroturfing going on or something. But it just didn't seem like it was probably worth it. I think it all depends. Like, you can split up all of your coding tasks into some amount of planning. And even then you could say like there's easy and there's hard planning. You could say there's grunt work. And then there's like, I don't know, kind of involved work. That's probably mostly what it comes down to, at least what I'm thinking of. And maybe things like documentation or something, which maybe you sort into grunt work or tests or I don't know. That's kind of just categories with this other stuff. But at least in terms of high level, there's this stuff. You can probably give like easy grunt work to a bad AI model and still have it do a pretty good job. Like write a comment for this function, or I don't know, add a function that that asynchronously modulates a Godot node. But then for the more involved stuff like, oh, make an entire dialogue system, you probably need to use a better AI model. Pretty much want to pay for Codex otherwise. Better to stay in Claude Code. Wait, sorry, what? If you're using open code, you pretty much want to pay for Codex. Oh, oh, maybe the comma is supposed to be there. So you're saying like basically Codex is better than open code, and that Claude is better than Codex, in your opinion? Look up superpowers for Claude Code. Complete software dev workflow for your coding agents built on top of a set of composable skills and some initial instructions. See, I think this stuff is interesting, but unless I commit to spending at least 5 times as much money as I'm spending right now, I can't really try this stuff out. Like even this doesn't update immediately, but if I click over here, oh, it still doesn't update immediately. Anyway, this is not at 70% any longer. This is at some much higher number. And yeah, that's going to be my problem is like this query is going to consume the rest of my quota. And the only next plan that they have is $100 a month one, or I pay for API credits and then I'm paying at a higher fee. Codex is a model you use in open code. Oh, I didn't realize. I guess there's a certain plan because I was gonna say I looked at Open Code Go and it doesn't have Codex there as far as I know. But I didn't realize you could yeah, there's no Codex here. But maybe a different plan like Zen has it or something. Does this have Codex? Or maybe I don't understand. No, I think the whole point of open code is that they're not using like ChatGPT's model, right? The CLI? Where even is that on here though? Because they only have Zen and Go. And I guess a GitHub thing. Docs? Docs has it? CLI? Oh, is this just a like a wrapper, a harness for another model? Oh, I see. Use all kinds of tools that aren't available in open code. Yeah, although for now, I'm mostly just using it for like planning and then stuff I already know how to do. Let me see. We ended up on Codex is a good value for money, but for private stuff. Absolutely love PI as the harness. I've never heard of that. What's that? Pi coding agent? Interesting. Be careful about them, and the model provider services might be against their terms of service. Yeah. Well, what I'd probably do if I were to try out a different model is just try it out on its own to begin with. That way I have a comparison point because right now I'm using Claude just as a desktop app. How much did this end up using? I'm curious about this. Okay, yeah, it jumped from 17% to 50%. It's actually not as bad as I thought. It used almost exactly double than what Sonnet used. But I can still do another query or two. So yeah, let's see what it's saying. It's probably still going to produce some more usage here. Yeah. The thing that would be nice is if, where did this go? Yeah, so if any of this were useful, like the limits are pretty high apparently. They mentioned some things here, 880 requests per 5 hours. Like that's way more than I need to do. But right now I feel like I'm at 4 or 5 requests per 5 hours. So it's like, oh, you want to do 1 request per hour, that's fine. And then otherwise pay more money. But it scales linearly. So if you pay $100, you get exactly 5 times the usage. So if you can do 5 requests per hour, you can now do 25 requests per hour. Which, who knows? Maybe that's, or sorry, 1 request per hour. You can do 5 requests per hour. And maybe that's good enough, but I am not sure. Okay, so cool. I produced this. Let's read through this. All right, so yarn spinner line presenter hides its container immediately after each line finishes, right after await. Returns when lines followed by options. That means the lines box disappears as soon as the player advances. Keep the dialog box visible from the start of the dialog run through to the very end, including while options are displayed. Only fade out once the entire dialog completes. Current scene already has use fade effect equals false. So the presenter behavior, what does it? Why was it fading out then? It's definitely fading out. Is this a bug in their code? It's not some AI thing right now. Use fade out. It's set to true here, but then we export it to be false. I'm not going nuts, right? I think it was fading out. Well, let's continue reading. Yeah, constraint from user, no edits and add-ons, no wholesale duplication. So recommended approach, stop letting line presenter manage its container at all by clearing its presenter control. Attach a tiny new script to the same container node. It owns visibility and fades. Oh, that's also an interesting idea. Fades based on dialog runner signals. Every visibility and fade call inside line presenter is gated on if. With it null, none of that runs. Still uses line text and character name ref, typewriter, markup handlers, etc. Because nothing's hiding the container between lines. The last line's text naturally remains visible. Hold during options behavior falls out for free. Yep. Timing is safe. Auto start does not await yarn next frame. Okay, so small global class, partial class, dialog container fader. What does the global class do? I know it's here on these things, but what is this annotation for? I guess it's an attribute. Exposes target class as a global script class to Godot engine. Why? What does this do for us? Types registered in the editor so they can be used more conveniently. In GDScript, this is the class name at the top. Restricts assignment, only allowing... Oh, I see. So if you ever expose something, you'll want Godot to know of that type. All right, I should probably write that down too somewhere. Hey, Ramu, and hey, Meyer. Are you actually going to delegate that much work to the AI where you need more than 5? I feel like, sorry if I'm wrong, you enjoy being hands-on, so maybe it works out that that's enough anyway. Well, so, okay, here's the problem. Like, I'm already at 50%, and it won't reset for another, whatever it said, like 4 hours, right? So if I want to ask it another couple questions as I go through, that's it. I can literally ask a couple of questions. I think that's kind of the issue here. But I don't want to be stingy with how I'm approaching this. I think if I knew this were good and then I'd utilize this, I think going to the $100 plan is maybe the right choice. But yeah, I'm not sure. All right, let's write this down here. So notes. This is so that when you export a class or a property of a particular type, the Godot can validate the type. All right, so what else do we have here? Supports dialog runner, fade in duration. Yeah, sure. If it's valid, subscribe to these things. Yep. Visible on dialog complete. Guard is fading out. Oh, interesting. It's emitted twice? Seriously? What line is this? It just scrolled the top bit. Where'd that go? 539. On dialog complete. And then again at 612 after presenter cleanup. Wow. I wonder if that's a mistake. Oh, one is synchronous, one's async? Yeah, maybe that's it. All right, what else do we have here? It looks fine. Reuses this. Edit this to remove the presenter control. Can stay removed. Is dead config either way. Yeah. On presenter control child node, attach the new fader. This is all fine. No other scene nodes change. Options presenter. Verification. .NET build the solution. Yeah, so I think it would be nice is to just say like accept here, but I don't think it's gonna have enough tokens to do this. So how about this? Let's copy this just in case I were to lose this somehow. Can I do that? No. Copy. Oh, there's a file? Okay, yeah, we'll just open this up. All right, I'll just put it over here. Whoops. Whoops. What's going on? There. Okay. Sure. I guess accept this. Yeah. And then I guess at the end of this, so yeah, I don't think this is going to have enough tokens to do this. We're at 69% already. So the odds of this completing its work is pretty slim. And I don't know what happens. They give you some like grace period. You can go over it for one query. Probably not. Because then you'd get to 99% and then run some like max query afterward, right? So another little thing we'll have to do is delete my stash entry. If it can't do this, by the way, I think this is easy enough for me to just go do myself. It's just a matter of like, it already identified all the tasks it has to do. Hey, Chris. Sweet little thing that pulls MTG cards online and puts them into printable A4. Excited to learn about dialogue today. Oh, cool. Yeah. Yeah, we've had... Yesterday was mostly about research. I only streamed the morning, but then in the afternoon, I continued to work on this. And one of the key things in the game that I'm making right now is there's this concept of like NPCs are just the like mindless zombies that you find in most old games. They say things like, how's the weather? You know, like lovely day we're having, that sort of thing. And then there's this concept of agents are like, they're still controlled by the computer, but they have, you know, free will. Excuse me. So, when you encounter your first agent in this game, they're like super excited to see you because they've only been around NPCs and they want to practice their like decision-making skills. So I have some dialogue here. Where is it? Yeah. So you go into town. Most NPCs don't have much to say, but they're friendly. One of them is this new character who you'll be seeing throughout the game. After you talk to one or two NPCs, they come out of a house and they say, hey, I saw you talk to those people. You're different. And then they say, oh my God, that proves it. You have agency because you made a choice. I can't tell you how long I've been waiting for something like this. I had no idea you were the new villager, but please, I want to exercise my agency too. So ask me something. So now you can ask it a question and then it will actually choose in the dialogue an option. And this is one of the key things I wanted to code, which I did yesterday afternoon. And it looks, I mean, decent right now. It's not like great visuals, but it's functional and you can't activate these buttons yourself. So you wouldn't be able to click like answer cryptically. But I love this idea, just absolutely love this idea. And yeah, that's what we were trying to work toward here. Have you looked at the latest 6 GB make your own AI drop? I don't know what you're talking about, so no, I probably haven't. What are you talking about? Can you share a link? You decided to go with Yarn or something else? I decided to go with Yarn for now. It seems like it at least fits what I'm going to need. Oh, hey, what do we have? Allow it to write this. Yeah, sure. Allow it to write the UID file, sure. I should probably pay attention to this. Yeah, sure thing, Chris. Allow it to check if a UID file exists. I mean, sure. I don't think it's going to make it through all this stuff. There's like no way. Nice day for fishing, ain't it? Is this a reference to another game? Oh, is this the NPC guide YouTube thing? I've only seen a couple of those videos. Allow to edit this, sure. I know I can click always allow. But I want to see what this is doing at least. Yeah, Epic NPC, man. Oh, they made a game. Oh, interesting. Yeah. Allow to edit this again. Yes. I already said it could edit it. I guess it's doing the edits like one at a time. All right, you know what? Let's just click always. It's exactly the permission fatigue that everybody talks about, except for this is just for editing files at least. I think it's still going to ask, yeah, it's still going to ask for running shell commands, which this is totally fine. Nice day for fishing on Steam. I wonder how well it did. Oh, it did very well. Wow, good for them. Oh, they used like actual... No, never mind. I was going to say they used actual video inside the game, but it doesn't look like it. God, isn't that crazy though? They probably started that YouTube channel of like, oh, this is just for fun. And now it's turned into such a big thing. All right, is it done? Did it manage to do this in under the usage limit? This is not accurate because that's what it was beforehand. So it's probably at like 100% right now. But let's see. What code do we have? It is finished, right? Yeah. So let's just try the code that it generated. Oh, there's a stash tab. That's pretty cool. Yeah, let's try running this. All right. So now it picks an option for me. We still see the dialogue. That's good. Okay, so now when I pick the next option, it should close everything, but it should fade out the dialogue. Yeah. Yeah. Good job, Claude. Oh, wait, there's an error. What's this? Oh, invalid UID. That doesn't matter. I think it's because it generated its own. And if I just run through here, it should get fixed automatically. This is, by the way, the automated choice. Like I can't click these. It's always picking no here. Nice. Nice. Nice, 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 nice. Now let's water some plants. With the really bad tile set right now. It's gorgeous. Yeehaw. All right. This is the beginning of a vibe coding arc. I mostly just want to use this when there's either something that is quote unquote beneath me, like, I don't know, make the millionth whatever UI that's got to follow these parameters. That's probably pretty simple and I can just have the AI do it. Same thing with like setting up animations, that sort of thing. And also for planning stuff. Now, with that said, who knows? Maybe I end up branching out and I'm like, let's just have it do entire features. This game does lend itself well to that because these games are isolated that we have. So like this farming game, you will play for about 5 or 10 minutes and you'll be done and you'll never come back to it. So is it worth me spending like 2 weeks development on it? Probably not. I am really curious though what this number ended up being at the end. Yeah, here it is, 92%. So I think I got 3 queries out. No, really, I got 2. One, which was a waste, which was 17%. And then I had it plan and then execute. So that used the remaining, like, whatever that was, 75%. So I got like one thing out of it. And this is what, I don't, like, it's not bad when you think about it over the course of a month. Like if I got one query, one good query and edit per 5-hour block, and I do that enough times, I mean, in the work week, let's say that works out to, you probably have like 10 5-hour blocks that you're doing. Not really, you're working 40 hours a week, but let's say it works out to be 10. So it's 10 per week. So that's like 40 per month. That's not bad for $20. The problem is that you don't want it at this frequency. You want like 7 of them here and then 6 of them there and then none for a long time and then 3 of them. Okay, so now let's look over the code. This should be super straightforward. There should be no question here because all it did is change a script and add a new presenter. It set this to invisible, which is kind of interesting. I guess because the visibility is no longer controlled by that. And then it should have nulled out the presenter control. It did, yeah. And we have fade durations from this new thing. Where is the new thing? Where's the new one? It's here, but there's no fading stuff on here. What's this called? Dialog container fader. This just has fading stuff set. Oh, no, it is exported. Oh, we just don't change it. I see. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Answered in less than 4 minutes, but didn't have access to code. Answers like less than 10 lines. Yeah, I think not looking through code would make it much faster. Also, for what it's worth, I don't think high thinking mode should be faster than medium thinking. I think it's just a difference in the context window size. And maybe there's some other tiny parameter that's changed, but I don't think the speed should be faster. Okay, so what am I doing here? I'm just checking this in. Yeah, so I want to go look at this. Owns the visibility of the dialog line container for the duration of an entire dialog run. Fades the container in when the dialog starts and out when it completes. So the last line stays visible while options are being shown. And the box only disappears. I'll just type this. All right, attach this to control that would otherwise be assigned to presenter control. Only that export cleared on the line presenter. Yeah, that's fine. Seconds to fade the container in when dialog starts. 0 for instant. Seconds to fade the container out is fading out. This is just to prevent another... Yeah, I don't think this is really necessary. I think it got a little bit confused because it does emit an event here, which is complete. Where is that? God, the word complete shows up so many times. On dialog complete. Yeah, here. So this calls us on the view. No, there's some. I opened it up. Where was it? Dialog runner. Complete. It's like 539 or something, right? Yeah, there it is. Okay, so there's one of these here. This should be synchronous. This is pretty much never called. And then what about this one? These are both private. Oh, the first one calls the second one. What's forget mean? What? Huh. And then will we emit this again? This seems like a mistake. But yeah, okay, that's fine. Actually running from an AI on your PC. Yeah, I think NVIDIA tried to do something like that. And the idea is cool. I like the idea that it would inject more life into NPCs in your game. What I don't like is, as a game developer, you'd have to rely on the target player's hardware. So if they have this NVIDIA card that could provide AI for NPCs, then cool, you use it. And if they don't have it, well, then you need canned dialogue anyway. So like, if you're going to have to manifest it yourself anyway, why not just make it interesting enough where they don't feel the need to use like onboard AI? All right, so wait, where else did we get to here? So connect these signals. Do we ever disconnect these signals? We don't. But the dialog runner should live for the same length as this thing does. Actually, the rest of this looks pretty much fine. The only thing we need now is a configure await, true. Same thing down here. Configure await, true. Any other issues? I guess this could return a task. It's got to be a callable that from though. If I do change this to a task, what happens? Does it complain here? It doesn't. Okay, let's try running this. And then I think we can check this in. What do you think? If it was small enough, you can send it from a server? I mean, you're trading a different constraint, right? It's not now that they have a certain hardware, it's that they have an internet connection. So if you're playing on like an airplane on your Steam Deck, then it won't be able to pipe NPC dialogue from another machine. Type is not supported for conversion. Yeah, so you can't use this. So then why does this need to be asynchronous? Because of this await? I think the proper way we do this is by having this function call this function. I know they're the same right now, but we have a callable.from that is, I guess we could just do it like this. What did I mess up here? This is just an allocation. I didn't mess anything up. There, now I don't think we have a problem. Now let's try running that. No, it's still failing. What's going wrong? Type is not supported. Threading tasks. Where are we even doing this now, though? We're not doing this. Should be container fader in here, right? It's not. Yeah, I don't see why this is happening now, though. Let me run this one more time. It's a problem as soon as the dialog opens, right? Yeah. And if I turn these things off, this goes away. Yes. The part I don't get is it should be able to take in a function, which is all this thing is. Oh, maybe it knows the type of this lambda would. No, it wouldn't. Because this would reject the async part of this. All right, well, let's do this then. Private void on dialog start. And this will just be the async version of it. And we'll call this a cuttlefish. And we change this back to what it was. And this back to what it was. And duplicate that. And this turns into complete. And then this gets an async. All right, is that better? There's a parenthesis missing. My bad. So now as soon as it shows this, we should be fine. Only problem is I somehow have multiple tabs over here. Yeah, nice. Okay. And we should be able to go through this. Cool. You need to be very obvious you've selected a button. I should write that down. But yeah, everything's looking good. Very obvious that a button is selected for the dialog choices. Okay, let's go check this in. So keep dialog on screen while choices are showing. So we no longer pass presenter control. Is that what the thing is called? Presenter control, yeah. What's the property path though? Yeah, okay, it's like that. We no longer pass presenter control to the line presenter. That way it doesn't try controlling the visibility itself. Instead, we use this new class, dialog container fader, which will properly set the visibility as we need. All right, and the spacing should be fine on this. No, it's not at the very end. That's fine. I don't tend to look at that too closely. All right. Hey, Kaizo. Kaizo, why do you want the Discord server? I'm just a little hesitant sometimes when I see an account created this year and your very first message is looking for a Discord server. And yeah, I'm very curious why you want it. It's also in the stream description. Let me make sure there's no foul play going on. So far, none seen. Developer also, that still doesn't answer why you want to be there. Still on red alert right now. Think you get it done without the bracelets, like writing return. Oh yeah, you're probably right. Yeah. Well, I guess it doesn't really make a difference right now, but we could try it. So this, and then delete this. I guess do the same thing over here. And then I guess just rename this out of the async bit because it doesn't really matter. So to give enough confidence or financial success that you can still be full-time deving for the foreseeable future? I did not look at the numbers still. Yeah, this did fix it. Thank you, Toulouse. I didn't look at the numbers still, so I don't know. But the plan was always to move on to a different game regardless. But I think it did teach me a lot about how I should make this game. Like the checkpoint system was really good. Clean up like async function usage. I didn't need intermediate synchronous functions. Still a bit confused why we had them and the transitions between. Have you taken a look at that document? That is not meant to be snarky. I'm just curious if it makes sense from that. Okay. All right. Text doesn't get hidden at all. So this is all done. Not that, just all the others. Okay. I'm going to take a quick break now. So yeah, when I get back, let me know if you're still confused because I think that should clarify it. But it's meant to be a little confusing if you didn't know anything ahead of time because it's supposed to be a very different kind of style of game. So when we get back, we've got another maybe couple hours before I'm going to take my lunch break. I want to get through as many of these things as I can. And maybe we hold off on this until later. Is it jump time? It's jump time. Close the game. Okay, coding speedrunning. We're not actually going to speedrun this. Theme the buttons for choices. Make sure they show up in the expected area of the dialog. This is not super important to do right now. We have the option items, and we want to eventually be able to set a theme on these option items. You got it now? Okay, cool. Yeah. Yeah, and I think it makes a little more sense when I show the game kind of all together. And kind of hoping to get a demo out, but not to everybody. It won't just be a publicly available one. I want to like watch people experience the game and yeah, see what they think. All right, so how do we do this? We have the VBox container with the options. Problem is, it's kind of hard to see what this looks like all together, and we only have so much space anyway. Yeah, so line presenter is all right here, and then we show the options on top of it. Maybe it's a little easier if the scene is running and I've got the options showing. Because like this is gigantic text. It's taking up pretty much the whole screen. We can't have that. So I should probably just shrink the font size. But I don't want to... Oh, right. I don't get to pick that one. I don't want to worry too much about theming right this second. So let's just try to get this like decent enough. These buttons need to fit too. So if I go over to here and change this, it should shrink it in the game. Yeah. So like that's good enough for right now. Yeah, we can only fit so many of these. We need the text sizes to be smaller on kind of everything. And if I were to move this entire thing down, does it cover? Yeah, nice. Okay. That's probably good enough for now. Yeah, and then we'll just shrink some font sizes. So where is the speaker? There it is. We should put this above it because it shows up above in the scene tree. All right, so font sizes are all probably gigantic. Yep, they are. Let's set it to like 24. Yeah. I'd like for that to be centered. So we need there to be a center container. I put this there and this there. That looks good. And then this text, if the other one is 24, this should be smaller. So maybe 20. Yeah. And ideally that is aligned to the top of this. I think it already is. It's hard to tell. And then the buttons should not be so large. Why are they huge? Font size 24. Okay, so the buttons can be, I mean, 20 is a good start. But probably a little bit smaller than that even. All right, so now how's this look when we restart the whole thing? Does that get saved? Yeah, because I clicked local for that. If I clicked remote, they wouldn't get saved. Yeah, nice. So these all fit. So we can fit 3 options. They should probably grow from the bottom, which I have not made that happen. So let's go do that. Oh, whoops. I guess we can't close the game when we do that. Seems cool. Interested to see how it turns out. Yeah, I'm really, really excited about it still. There's a lot of cool stuff as a developer for this. All right, so now we get the next choice. And these need to grow from the bottom. So we go into here, we find the VBox container. There it is. And we click. It's in here somewhere. I don't know where. Huh, yeah, strange. There's some way to... Oh, there it is. Alignment, maybe? End? Okay, that like slammed it to the bottom of this thing. I see. So this should have been set differently. So if we just shrink this, it should be fine. Yeah. We've got to change... Yeah, I got to change the layout of all of this. I'm doing this really stupidly. So let me think about this. This should be the bottom of the panel that we use for this. So probably we just move where this is in the scene tree, or at least the VBox container. Why is this even there though? What does this matter for? Yeah, I'm gonna put this up here. And then this isn't needed. No, it is needed because that's what controls. So control something in here. Presenter control. What do we do with this? We set it either visible or not visible and fade it in or out. Yeah. I see. Okay. So then it could just be the VBox container. We don't even need to do anything else. So maybe we delete this. Set this to the VBox container. Call this like choice container. That shouldn't cause any problems. Set this, just delete this, I guess. And then we got to lay this out a little differently. I'm just going to keep iterating on this because this is, yeah, this takes a little bit of time. So now you get your choices in there. Yep. I should stop having it auto pick those so I don't need to keep waiting for it. Farming.yarn. Yeah, just comment this out. Did I open up 2 of these? I think I did. Yes, I did. Yeah. So that's good, but this doesn't help us because it's not opened up through Godot. If it's not open through Godot, I can't change it. All right, there we have it. So I want to align this in a VBox container in here. So we do something like that, but we need to reserve enough space for this. And this should take up the entirety of the parent. We might need to do this a little bit differently because no, nothing's working. What did I mess up? Character name container, line text. Line text is there, yeah. Does this not have any height set? I think we need to set a minimum size, yeah. Can't we have this be automatic though? Can we just say that this is set to expand? Yeah. Still working on abstracting the dialogue. Looks like heck of a work. I assume you'll later move it to the architect scene too before the checkpoint. The architect scene, they only have the 1 line of dialogue. That probably won't take place in a dialogue like this. So it will still just be in the world, sort of like how in Skelliseller that was like, I don't feel so good text that just showed up above the character. But yeah, I am still working on the dialogue stuff. All right, so this looks good enough for now. So this should always expand from the bottom. So here are 3 choices and they're aligned to the bottom. If I click one of these, oh wait, that's the one option that doesn't actually have dialogue after it. So I got to click no. And now the next choice should show up aligned to the bottom too. Good, perfect. Yeah, so this is good enough for now. I'll worry about the rest of the theming later. Hey, Hills of Gold. Okay, cool. Let's go check that in. So delete this bit. Can I have this expanded by default? Maybe if I didn't group them by directory. Yeah. Okay, so lay this out a little bit better. Yeah. Nothing super important there. And then what? The same thing here? Yeah. Okay. I find AI is better at dialogue than the average California programmer. What do you think? Dialogue in what way? Like just chatting about stuff? Because I think there are different things you expect out of a conversation with a human than just what are the words coming out of their mouth. But it's more of the social experience of talking to them. All right, so lay out the dialogues a bit better. Changed some font sizes, changed layouts, or like moved where choices show up. I think that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, and changed how the options container grows. Grammar and options. I think if you're talking about typing, yes, an AI is almost certainly going to have better spelling and grammar than the average person. I think that's inarguable. I think the average person's spelling and grammar is not great to begin with, but an AI, I mean, has access to a dictionary at all times and has access to like well-written text. But yeah, I don't, like I said, I think this kind of ignores why you converse with humans in the first place. It's not just for proper syntax and grammar. All right, so we haven't themed the buttons. We need to do that later. I guess I'll write this down over here. Farming game, yeah. Theme the dialogue buttons. Okay, need to stop game input when dialogue is showing. That way you don't control both things at once. So how do we do this? We have the farming game. We have input here, and we have input in physics or physics process. No, that's in the player. So like we want to stop this. This doesn't really matter too much though. So what we need to do is we need to know, excuse me, when the dialogue is showing and when it's done. And if I'm not mistaken, dialogue runner has those signals somewhere. Delegate. Be nice if I could find this quickly. Are there 2 dialogue runners? No, there's just the one. Wait. No, I wasn't in dialogue runner. I was in action registration. Whoops. Okay. Yeah, so here's where we should have some delegates, right? Yes, there they are. So there is start event, dialogue starts running, and dialogue is completed. So those are what we need. Easy peasy. So we have the dialogue runner there, so let's go get that. And we need to do this for the entire game, I guess. Dialogue runner equals get node. That should be correct, right? Yes. So runner dot, what was it called? Start? Why is this not working? Start dialogue. On dialogue start. Yeah, so this is going to be something like stop player input. And, or well, let's say on dialogue start. That's probably better. And then what's the other one? Complete. Yep. On dialogue complete. Okay, let's go make those functions. And one more function, set player input enabled is enabled. All right, so on start, we're going to disable it. On stop, we're going to enable it. And then we just need something tracking whether or not it's enabled. Is player input enabled? I guess it starts as true. And then we need to tell the player about it as well. But let's just ignore that for now. How about this? So if player input is not enabled, return. And we'll just test that for now. So if I try pressing R and L on the controller, it should not allow me to move this thing at the bottom. And yeah, it does not. But if I get done with this, I'm going to keep trying it every single time. I still can't do anything. Still can't. And now I finally can. Cool. Now I just need to do that for the player. Should be simple. We check for input here, here. Anywhere else? No, just those 3 places. So we want to keep track of this inside of this private pool. What I call it over here is player input enabled. Yeah, so we'll just call it is input enabled here. And it's going to be true by default. Although actually we should probably have it get set. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Player dot is input enabled equals is enabled. Good. Now let's rename this to get set public equals true. Sure, that's fine. And then in physics process, I mean, we could just cut out the entire function, right? Is there anything else we actually do here? Yeah, for now, let's just do that. It's easiest. And that should do it. So now when you press the button to use your pickaxe or whatever, it won't do it in the middle of a dialogue. Yeah, so I cannot move, I can't act. I have to wait for this to finish, which I can't speed up. There, but now I can move and act. Yes. Okay, looks good. Oh, wait. What about pressing start during that? That should still work, right? The only reason I could see you wanting to pause the game during a dialogue, though, would probably be to change the audio, maybe. Oh, it doesn't pause this. That's fine. Well, maybe it's not fine. Yeah, maybe it's not fine. Does the pause menu actually stop things from processing? Maybe it doesn't even do that. It does set it to paused. So the dialogue runner runs outside of pausing. Excuse me. Maybe it doesn't auto advance if it's paused. But either way, we don't really have any problems now. Yeah. I'll worry about that later. Let's write it down. Consider having dialogue runner get paused when the pause menu is open. I'm not sure what this will actually affect. Maybe if we have text to speech, it'll be annoying to have it play out while paused. Okay, let's check that in. This is all pretty straightforward. Yeah, very straightforward. Cool. Okay, so prevent player input while dialogue is open. All right, try text to speech model. This we'll do later. I'm not going to do this right now. For dialogue. Okay, after doing enough of this, see if it feels ergonomic. Let's put that at the bottom. Let's get through as much of this as we can. Make sure we can disable options. Yeah, so how do we do that? I don't actually know how we do that. This is my own thing. How do we new? Replace without saving? No. I want one of the samples. Do they have disabled options here somewhere? Hey, Train. I don't know how you do this. Disable options. You can add a condition to the end of an option. Where does it say that? Here it is. If evaluates a false, it will mark it unavailable. It's up to your game to decide what that means. You might make it visible but unselectable. Might hide it. If every option is unavailable, player has no option. All right, so how do I set the condition? If, and then a variable. So let's try this out. Turn this off. And yes, we'll put in if false. Is that what it looks like? Yeah. So this should stop you from being able to choose yes. It doesn't show. Okay, I don't want that. There's an option presenter that says show unavailable options. We'll just set that to true. And then we'll start this. Now it should be shown but disabled, I guess. Yeah, we can still select it, but you can't actually press A on it. Is that what you'd expect from this? Maybe. Excuse me. Coughing a lot more than normal. I don't think I would expect you to have it selected by default. Although I also don't think we'll put a disabled option at the top. It'll probably be at the bottom. And there's no sound right now, but we could make it play a sound like you can't do that. Yeah. So I think this is fine. So you can't choose that, but you can choose no. Okay, seems pretty reasonable. So if false, we'll disable the option. I guess let's write some like basic usage things here. Script reference. Disabling an option. Add if false at the end of it. e.g. Note, Yarn Spinner calls this an unavailable option. And you can choose to show it or not in your options presenter. Options presenter. Yeah, okay, great. Can't select an option. Maybe think of the Final Fantasy sound that happens when you try to use an item and can't. Yeah. I think you need some kind of like bonk sound if you try doing that. All right, so that is very possible. We don't need to do anything. It was just to make sure. That's why it's a small task. Why don't we even have a change over here? Ah, yes, we need that. Okay, so show unavailable options as disabled. Can you further customize this? Like make it a stretch bar at the bottom with character, portrait, and text? Yeah, you can customize quite a lot. And that was the beauty of using this library, so I don't need to code all this myself. Although, I mean, part of using any library is having to learn the library and eventually probably maintain this. But yeah, hopefully it's not too bad. To make sure we can have sounds as you select dialogue options. All right, let's just take any sound that's already in the game, which is what? Sounds. I mean, we only have 2 in the farming game, right? Yeah, we could have it play that for now. Yeah, so how would we get this to work? Sounds as you select them. Well, didn't I make my own controller here? UI up? No, I didn't. Not for this. I put it somewhere though. I thought I did. No, I did make a controller thing. Where is that? Yeah, this. Okay. So this is a controller handler. Where do we set this up? Line presenter, controller handler. We don't directly use this, but I probably gave this as a script to something else. Yeah, right there. So where is this? This is in farming game under line presenter handler. Farming game, line presenter handler, yeah. So this has my script. And then the dialogue runner has that as a handler. No, it has line presenter. This has an event handler for it. Okay, I see. Game dialogue system. If yes, do you have an opinion on it? I'm not familiar with it, no. Is it something like custom rolled for the game? Nate Yokosen. So how do we want to do this? Do buttons have events when they get focus? Godot button. Oh my god. Did not mean to have the extra stuff at the end. Signal. There's no signal? Where's pressed? Style box. Oh, base button has it? Signals. Got it. Pressed, toggled, button down, button up. Okay, no, it does not have it. I want there to be a sound when you navigate between them, but the only thing that's changing is that you're focusing it. Maybe, well, maybe canvas item or control has it. Control might have it. Signals. Ah, focus entered, focus exited. Perfect. Easy peasy. All right, so what gets the focus though? Is it the button? Might be the button. In which case we could just do something here, right? Oh, but then this would need the sound thing. Let's... What do I want to do for that? Yeah, we need an audio system in here. How would we do this? So I have an options presenter. This is my own script. Yes. And it makes a prefab here. What we could do is after making that prefab, just initialize it in a certain way. And it could be that it gets initialized with an audio system, but this doesn't have an audio system either. Man. All right, so how would I do that then? We could have the game initialize it. So if I want button sounds, I need to get an audio system to the option item. Is that what it's called? Option item, yeah. Options presenter makes those items. And farming game could easily get a reference to the options presenter. Handled through custom scripts, condition checks, lots of if-else style branching logic, and tightly coupled to game code. Depend on many internal flags, choice, story state, etc. Yeah, this is one of the things I thought was kind of nice about this dialogue library is I can keep the dialogue just in these little scripts that are here. So we can just type something out, pretty much just in plain English, like I'd expect, and then we see the dialogue for this scene. And any branches can take place like this, where we jump down to another section. So it's pretty easy to find these. Although actually, the more I think about this, the more I think I should probably have like some common branch name or something like that. Well, I guess we could always search for title : and that. So yeah, it should be pretty easy. And then there's an extension for VS Code that might make this even easier. Like maybe you could press F12 on yes and it'll go down to here. I don't know if that's how it would work. But yeah, I think this is pretty manageable. Yeah, I hadn't heard of Yarn Spinner before yesterday. And it does seem like it's pretty nice. Because the way we did this for Skeleseller was not great, looking back. We had a bunch of dialogues like this, where we had, hi, I'll tell you how your farm works. And you might be like, okay, well, what comes after this? And you see name of greeting 2 down here. So then you click this and it's like, here's another line of dialogue. And then greeting 3. And here's another line of dialogue. It's like, look at how much extra stuff we have in this file. Like 25 lines of code, followed by 25 lines of code. 28 lines of code, followed by another 28. Then we could have made this better. We just didn't have a lot of dialogue in the game. But even this amount of stuff that we had here, it's just too much. How does it handle branches funneling to the same ending? Same thing that you see here. There's a jump. So for example, when you go to the no branch, it jumps to yes at the end anyway. But if you click yes here, it jumps to yes immediately. So you just put a jump at the end of whatever you want. So yeah, it works. It should handle pretty much everything you'd expect out of dialogue. What was I doing again? Oh yeah, this. So let's close every other tab. Okay, this is going to take too long. Let's copy this and just close every tab. There. So farming game could get a reference to the options presenter and initialize the audio system. We could also manifest the audio system as a node in the tree. We don't do that already, right? No, we don't. But if we did that, then we can just export it. We did this, we could export the node. Oh wait, we don't even have it in that scene though. That's why we don't do that, because it's in main, isn't it? That's not what I meant to do. Oh, I see what I accidentally did. Main scene. Audio system, there it is. Yes, so that's because we potentially want the audio system to outlive each sub-game in case there's ever any music or sound effect that needs to play across scenes. All right. Set audio system. All right, I think I'm leaning toward... The problem is I guess we're going to couple it to this no matter what we do, right? Alternatively, we have a signal. So yeah, option 1 is give the audio system to the option item so that it can do this. On focus, audio system not play sound, whatever. And that's what this option looks like. Then option 2 would be have the option item emit a signal that it wants to play a sound. But then we need to funnel this upward to the farming game. or just main. And option 3 would be use the sound system built for Yarn Spinner. There's some way to play sounds. The problem is it won't follow the same buses that we have. Oh, interesting. Jenny language. I wonder if I can keep a reference to this in here. Hey, Fernando. Why don't you manage your dialogues with a CSV system? How you store the text doesn't really matter too much. I mean, this could be a CSV. I don't think CSV is very like human friendly, I will say. Like, I think this is pretty clear what's going on here. We have a start thing. We could put tags if we want. We don't have them. And then we have a speaker and some dialogue. And this is like a normal conversation. You can read it from top to bottom. And we can also put other commands in here too. I don't think we'd benefit much from using CSV. So script reference. Put this here, script language reference. What else? What could we look for here? Yarnspinner.dev. They've got some like audio. Yeah, manage audio assets. Where's that? I don't want voiceover. Audio source. I think we just do it one of the ways that I have written down here, right? Give audio system the option item so we can do this. What's the problem with this? Just that we're funneling in our own system. We could potentially give this to the options presenter and have it do this. Could just give the audio system to the options presenter. How are we going to play any text-to-speech stuff, though? I guess the whole dialogue... We could give it to the dialogue runner and then have the dialogue runner be funneled into whatever else needs it. It has something to handle localization? Yeah, it does. Hey, Maybach. You back learning stuff that interests you, or what's your main goal with Yarn Spinner? We're still at Skeleseller? No, we're on the new game. Yeah, check out what Toulouse just linked in. Yeah. Yeah, I always try to keep the today command up to date. If you're ever curious about it, do take a look. I think today's the first day I did not put a link to the game itself. But yeah. You have to store some value through the dialogue. It's not the better way to do it. Genuine question. I'm a noob dev. So this Yarn Spinner thing has a way to store values right in those yarn files. Like if you look at this. So see how we have this declare trust equals 0? Now when you greet them warmly, your trust with them goes up. So we've incremented a value like within the dialogue file. And then down here, we can check to see, oh, if your trust is a great enough value. Oh, I know a secret path if you're interested. And now you can change where you're going in your game based on some variable you set in your dialogue file. So it's not to say that CSV wouldn't work, but you have to think of like, how does this get interpreted? It's almost like if you have a file on your machine, it's just a bunch of zeros and ones in the end. So it's like, is it text? It gets interpreted as letters. Okay, now what's the formatting of those letters? Is it binary? Then it gets interpreted in some binary format and you figure out how to execute it. So you could have CSV render all of this, but you'd have a ton of commas in here. And the problem with using commas with dialogue is that you'd have to escape them at some point too, because like, look, we have a comma right there. So how do we know this is a column marker versus an English comma? So yeah, you'd prefer this for readability, for functions, features, etc. that you have. Okay, so we could give the audio system the options presenter and have option item emit a signal that the options presenter knows how to handle. We could give the audio system to the dialogue runner and have the options presenter pull it from there. The dialogue runner does know about, yeah, these presenters. I wonder how they expected audio to work. Are you going to write all the dialogue, even the romance options? I'm going to write all the dialogue. Yeah, that's my plan. I don't know if there's going to be any like romance in the game. there might be like a sub game that's sort of a satirical romance game, but it's not gonna be like real romance in the game. Yeah. Supports multiple languages. Clearly looks better than the CSV. Yeah, so the supporting multiple languages is something that there's a system for in here. They've got a whole bunch of stuff. I'm not going to cover all this right now, so let me just show you this. If you click, what's it called? Yarn project. If you open your project in here, there is update localizations. You can set a base language. You can set localization CSVs. So eventually you will have a file that's got a bunch of commas here and says something like hello and then like the French word for it and so on and so forth for all of these things you'd have. So that file will probably just be a CSV. But that's because that file is much more just like tabular data. There are no conditions in there. It's literally just like, how do you say this in Japanese? How do you say this in German? Stardew Valley clone. This is not a Stardew Valley clone. How is localization handled then? So I think the easiest thing is probably to just look at how Yarn Spinner does it in the documentation. But yeah, in short, the way that this works is it will load in the localized TSV that you need and then take that translated line and pipe it into your eventual rich text label that you have. But there's a little bit more going on behind the scenes there. And they have their own like classes for some of this stuff, like localized line. But at the end of the day, all this should try to do is get something from a CSV. It's got quite a lot here. I guess all this is public, so it's set from outside this class. Okay, so going back to this. So Dialogue Runner has access to these presenters, but we don't want to just assume that they need an audio system. I'm still trying to figure out how best to do this. I think we would just tell our dialogue runner, but this is a tool script that I did not control. So I don't think it's a great idea to do that. Where is dialogue runner in here? No, it's okay, Fernando. I think it's good to ask these questions and find out how someone else does something, because that's how you find out about improvements you can make. So yeah, what I'd like to do is ask this. We don't have any quota left to be able to ask. I'm at 92% and I had to wait 3 hours. I mean, I guess I also have the JetBrains AI. I could click something in here, this thing, and I could ask it questions. I mean, we could try it. There actually is a way to have this control Claude or Codex. Yeah. And what do I... Yeah, I just type a bunch of stuff in here. It's not as good. Yeah, I'll try this out. I mean, hey, I have $10 a month that I can use on this. Might as well try it, right? Renews on May 9th. All right, well, what's the thing I want to ask? So do we have any outstanding code right now? No, we don't. What's your opinion on using local LLMs to generate the dialogue? So to be clear, this is like canned dialogue. It's not something we need generative AI for. And I consider this to be a creative endeavor. So I like the creative endeavors being human only. So like we could come up with something for dialogue, but sorry, I meant we could have an AI come up with something for dialogue, but I would rather that stay in the human only realm. Because a lot of this, I feel like, is the story I want to tell and not what the collective humanity wants to tell through the lens of an AI. And so, yeah, that sort of thing I'll leave to myself. Same thing with music. Artwork, I'm not making it myself, but I want it to all be human created as well. So like we've used a lot of asset packs so far. Quickie Joe will eventually be making some artwork for this, but I don't plan on using AI for that. Okay, so I want to be able to, where is this? Signals, focus entered and focus exited. Yeah, I want to be able to play sounds on option item when selecting option items. I was thinking of adding focus a listener to the focus entered signal on its button. However, I then need something to actually play the audio. I have an audio system. It's actually audio. Well, I guess it is audio system. What does this have? Play sound? Yeah. I have an audio system class in main.cs or main.tscn that I'd like to use for this. What's the best way to get to have option item eventually play a sound on that audio system? Should I pass the audio system to the options? What's it called? Options presenter. And if so, is it best to do so through the dialogue runner? I want to see what this is going to say. You plan the different sub games to be graphically coherent, or will you change artists and styles between them? The only graphical consistency should be any characters that transcend the sub games. So, for example, your character transcends the sub games. So you should look a little bit similar through some means of like flair. So, as an example, if you have a hat in one game, you should have a hat in every game, and the hat should be the same color, but it'll be different art styles. We haven't settled on what that will be yet, so they just look like different sprites right now. But like, will, you know, NPC 1 look like they're the same in every game? Like, if they show up in every game, yeah, but they probably won't. Plan to make a game with lots of sub games? Yeah, oh yeah. That's pretty core to this. So let's ask this here. I want to be able to play sounds when selecting option items. I was thinking of adding a listener to the focus entered signal on its button. However, I then need something to actually play the audio. All right, so should we add a couple of these things? Like, I could add all the files that we're talking about here. Option item. Main.tscn. Options presenter. It's got to be mine. Dialogue runner has to be theirs. And yeah, main.cs, I guess. Maybe also the farming game. All right, let's try that. Just see what happens. Install codecs. External provider. They don't have the external providers. Oh man, I gotta see how codecs uses this. All right, I don't think we can use this right now then. Let's cancel this. And let's try it with just Junie. Might not do as good a job. I'll copy this and we'll click Junie. All right, now what is this? Auto code ask, so ask. And then what is this thing? Allows agent to execute terminal commands without confirmation. What? Oh, that's a checkbox. Okay, I was like, I don't want that. All right, let's hit that one. There we go. Do you have a JRPG Final Fantasy style subgame? I don't know yet. All I'm focused on is what is our work for April, and then I'll be taking a little bit of a vacation, and then when I come back mid-May, we will probably do some more planning. Is that Linux? Please tell me more. The game I've been planning out is also sub-game based. I doubt they'll be similar at all. I don't have a lot of ideas, but they're like mostly mini games, and they're a lot of the times jokes on what your expectations would be. So yeah, we'll probably plan even more of them in May. But for right now, it's just you go from a platformer to a farming game to a combination of the two games back to the farming game. So it's really just kind of two games at first. And the games aren't really meant to be games for this part. It's more for story. I know the agent wasn't installed, but to install it, I need to read through the terms of service, and I don't feel like doing that right now. So I will just use the one we already have. Yeah. At one of the indie games, I saw something that had some aspects of what I was thinking of as well. I can't remember what the game was. Also very retro. Maybe UFO 50? Yeah, might have been UFO 50. I haven't played that game. By the way, if this gives me a bad answer or doesn't answer or whatever, I think I'll just do a system that will work here, which is probably going to be to give this just directly to the options presenter. I think I just give this, it's asking for something, isn't it? No, it isn't. Wait, right? It isn't. Is it asking for something? Is it done? It says 2 out of 7 completed. Doesn't look like it's doing anything else. How many credits did it use? 8 cents? That's not bad. I mean, I have to read it still. So I think I just give this to the options presenter. So why does it say 2 out of 7 completed here? Formulate the recommended solution. It has an X there. I mean, it did not formulate it because it looks like it. Open an editor. Yeah, it says done. Huh, weird. Okay. Okay, let's read through this. I guess it's probably easiest to read it through in a preview. Yeah. Oh, UFO 50. This game might be what you were thinking of. Okay, so to have option item play a sound from audio system, most straightforward and maintainable approach is to pass the audio system down the hierarchy through initialization methods. Okay, that's what I was thinking of originally. Since it already receives it in init, the ideal place to distribute this dependency to other dialog components. So update option item, add an init, give it this. Yep. Update option presenter, add init. When we create a new thing, call init. This requires that it stay an option item, but that's exactly what I was planning on doing. Sure, they're initialized once when created, yeah. Update farming game in the init method, find the options presenter, pass the audio system. Okay, yeah, reasonable enough. I'll just go do this stuff. All right, so in the option item, and it's got to be my option item, which is why I probably shouldn't have named it option item because I have to keep figuring out which one I want to use here. We're going to add in our audio system, private audio system, audio system. We don't have an init right now. We do have a ready. I'll add this down here. Public void init, audio system, audio system. It should know what to do after this. Great. Then in ready, we want to do button dot focus entered. Yeah. Plus equal. We'll just make this simple for now. I'll just take the audio system. We'll play a sound. The sound will be walk on dirt. Sure. Doesn't need to be special. I eventually need UI sounds for this, but we're not going to worry about that yet. So now I want to, oh, that's already where I want it to be. Okay, so next up we go to options presenter. And this is going to do pretty much the same thing. Private audio system, and import that. We don't have an init here. Public void init. Good. And then anytime we make one of those prefabs, we instantiate it and then init it. Then the farming game needs to do the same thing. We don't have the options presenter. No, we don't have the options presenter. But I don't get the audio system until here anyway. So options presenter, get node. See, sometimes it makes me type this out I'm like, I don't want to type the rest of this out. This is so straightforward. Come on. Come on. I don't know why it has me do that. There's no init for this. Oh, this is the wrong options presenter? Yeah, this is the wrong one. I want mine. Yarn.ui or ui.yarn.options presenter. How do you do this? Cannot convert type to this. Yeah, so now I type it over here too. There's a better way to do this. There it goes. All right, well, whatever. All right, init that now. And that's it. It should just work, right? So now whenever the focus is on the button, it'll make a sound, but it'll make a sound as soon as it shows it the first time, right? Oh, it's muted. What am I doing? Yeah. Working perfectly. Okay, so let's fix up a couple of things. Farming.yarn should not have this here. Then main shouldn't mute everything. And then the option item shouldn't be every single time it's focus, because we call focus when the options presenter shows the items. Grab focus. Where's grab focus? Yeah, here. Focus button. So where's that called from? Here. Wait, really? That can't be right. No. If not, it's auto picking. Yeah. So this is correct. But we want it to not play a sound when you do that. Well, we could just skip the next time we'd play a sound. Yeah. Yeah, this is maybe not the smartest thing to do. Skip next sound played. So where is it? Here. All right, let's put this in its own function now. Can we do this easily? To named method, yeah. Sure, if skip equals false. Actually, this is a dumb way to do this. Let's just put it like this. Good. And then this will skip the next one. There we go. So now it should only make a sound when you choose. That's great. Wait, what? It's making a sound repeatedly? Does that mean the focus is going to it repeatedly? How does that make sense? That's strange. I guess only play the sound if we didn't already have the focus. Yeah, focus entered. So if we're not skipping it and we don't already have the focus. No, but we don't know if we already had the focus. Because this is once we already see that we had it. Oh, wait, no, we can check because the focus exited. Oh, man, I don't like that. Add focus. True. And then we need to listen for focus exited. And I guess change this too. Just for convenience, let's put that down there. Oh, I should be using this to select the whole function, right? Yeah, that's pretty nice. I gotta remember that. I didn't even look to see if I coded that correctly. I was just on total autopilot. No, I did not code that correctly. So we're playing this repeatedly, even though it already has a focus. Wait, it's not even coming from focus entered? It's coming from something else? Wait a second. The only thing I can think that plays sounds is in farming player like that. Play sound. There's, yeah, play step sound. Is this what's getting hit? Because that'd be surprising. No, it's not. What is playing the sound? I'm so perplexed. I mean, if it's not coming from this line right here. And that's the walk on dirt sound, right? What am I missing here? Oh, maybe. Oh my God, we had 2 game windows open and this character's just walking around. Oh my God. Okay, there's no problem. I coded all this stuff that makes no sense now. All right, we gotta go delete this. Had focus. I mean, let's double check this first. I was like, then none of this makes sense if it's not hitting a breakpoint. Yeah, this is working totally fine. So I am assuming I don't need the had focus stuff here. There, let's try that now. So if I press F5, it should close the old instance. It did. Good. Wow, very confusing. Oh, an ad's about to run. All right, I'll take a break. Yeah, I don't want to make people have to watch an ad while I'm doing something. Is it jump time? It's jump time. Wow, congrats. One player. Hey, Mango. If you want to join, you have to type join in chat and then you can jump. So like I can do -15 here now and jump. Yay. But yeah, you'll have to try it next time. Close the game. All right, so where we left off is we got audio playing, and I think everything was just working there, right? Yeah, I think everything was working. Finally, number one. You're the best. You're the best of one player. All right, looking good. Don't want this. Looks good. Looks good. Oh, well, I should probably put a comment for this. The God, cref equals options presenter. Is this even the right one? Yes, it is. How do you, okay, I do not understand how you're supposed to do this. So, and I've had this happen a lot of times now. I press F12 on this, and when I go back in history, it does not go back to where I came from. It goes to some like seemingly random place. Why is that? Option item. I press F12. If I click back up here, it goes to where I came from. But if I press back here, it goes to somewhere else. Maybe it's not the shortcut I think it is. I'm pressing that. Wait, what? Select previous tab. That's not what's happening. That's definitely not what's happening. I'm pressing this. Back is Alt minus. What? Oh, you can't type in there. Yeah. I can't even press that. All right, I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know what it thinks this even is because this most of the time works. Like if I go to, well, maybe it doesn't work most of the time. Maybe I am just making something up. Oh yeah, I am just making something up. It's just switching tabs. Well. I don't know what I was thinking. All right, well, let's type back. Navigate back. Here we go. Add keyboard shortcut. Select previous tab. Not anymore. Remove. Now, where's the opposite of back? Forward or next? Forward. Here it is. Now we're cooking. Okay, let's try that out. So I press F12 here. I go back. Oh, it's beautiful. Do you have a list of shortcuts or do you just remember them all? I tend to remember them. I've been kind of migrating them from program to program to program over the last like more than a decade. So certain things I just kind of expect to be in a particular position. Now, with that said, I used to use a, regular keyboard and the hand shape you make to hit modifier keys or press arrows was totally different. So it did take a lot to kind of reprogram my muscle memory for that. But now that I've been using this keyboard, it's been pretty nice. So like one of the things that I comment on very frequently, if you look at my hands right now, first of all, if I'm just typing something, there's not a lot of movement for my hands, but there's especially not a lot of movement when I'm using keyboard shortcuts too, because they're all just using the same set of keys. So like I can keep my fingers entirely on the home row here and go back and forth. I do have to move to the higher row to switch tabs or to close them, but it's pretty nice. All right, anyway, the options presenter focuses an option when they first appear. When that happens, we want to prevent playing a sound since the user didn't cause the option to be selected. Or like didn't directly cause it. They did kind of cause it to be selected. All right, where do we leave off with this? So this is fine. This is not quite fine. This is playing the dirt sound. We should probably have it play like a button sound or something. What else do we have here? The rest of this stuff is fine. So should we go get a button sound? Probably. All right, so UI. There we go. Now, what sounds good in here? I like that one. That's pretty nice too. What's this? Yeah, I like that one. Let's use that one for right now. I don't want to feel like a 90-year-old looking for keys. So I recommend trying a software approach to this. And I don't know what the names of these things are, but yeah, if you look up like software-based keyboard layers, there's something. Yeah, they probably talk about it in here. It does not talk about it in there. There's some tool that lets you do this, and I just forgot the names of all of the tools. Maybe if I search GitHub. Ah, this one. This is one of them for sure. K-Monad. Yeah, so maybe take a look at this. I don't know enough about this to know whether this is exactly what you want, but it says the onion of keyboard management tools available on Windows, Mac, Linux. And it's got layers at the very least. So yeah, you could take your just regular keyboard and try layers and see how they feel. What I highly, highly recommend doing, if you have just a regular QWERTY keyboard, is... Where was that picture? I wanted to show the picture. Yeah, is so your pinky naturally rests here on at least this layout, but you know, whatever keyboard you have, it rests on whatever. Just take your pinky key that you have and set it so that holding that activates a layer, and then turn these into like arrows and maybe backspace here or home and end or something. Just change like this block of keys. Just trying that, if you like that, you will probably like this kind of keyboard, because that's all it took for me to be like, oh my God, this is amazing. Because otherwise, in order to use arrow keys, you need to move your hand all the way over to the right side of the keyboard. And same thing for backspace. Even just having backspace, like hold down semicolon and press H or press J or something. Like, it's just so ergonomic. It's so much better. And then you only have to get used to just one new shortcut. And if you like that idea, then you can start applying it more and more and more. All right, so what was I going to do? Add in the sound? Yeah, I never did that. All right, let's put this. Where should we put this? Probably UI. So there's the hover sound. Let's go into sound ID and call this like UI hover button. Yeah, that's good. Now we go into sound data and manifest the sound. And then figure out where it goes. It's here. And this is in the sound/UI folder. All right, player. What is it supposed to be? UI, I guess. Well, the U control UI sounds. I don't know. And let's try these things. We don't need the volume. We have an extra letter. Yeah. So I think just having it be on your pinky at some point is good. Oh, by the way, I didn't make this clear. It's not that you can't use that key still. It's just holding it will do something and tapping it will still do what it used to do. As long as that key isn't shift, then there's no problem. Or any modifier, I guess. Do you ever use AI to like make a noise halfway between these two MP3s? I wouldn't say never, but there's no plan for that for right now. I kind of, so here's where a lot of this comes from for me, is what's a compromise between my own time and what gamers expect. So yeah, let's say you like 100% used AI for everything in your game. The idea, the art, the music, the sounds. I think a lot of people would take exception to that. And actually, not even my own time and values. Like, I value being creative and having an opportunity to express that creativity. And for me, it's mostly music. And I guess in this case, it's like story and writing and to some extent the coding, but it's not a lot. It's mostly seeing the idea come alive. I think game design is probably at the top of this. So yeah, sounds like I don't want to spend a lot of time doing sound design, which is why I got an asset pack. And it's been actually quite sufficient for everything I've done so far. They have a lot of sounds in there. But yeah, if an asset pack did not meet my needs and I couldn't find the sound online and I didn't find a better asset pack, I'd probably consider it. I want to be very careful about that, because I still like being able to say that, hey, all the creative stuff was done by humans. I think there'll be a time where it doesn't matter to people. In fact, it might already be that way. Cakes brought up a game the other day. I forgot what it was called already. Timber something. Timber Rush. Apparently, this is made almost entirely with AI. At least that's what Cake said. Now, I don't know. I didn't look into this more than that. But like, people are apparently fine with this, right? 84% positive reviews, lots of reviews. The game cost $5. Probably made a decent amount of money. So yeah, I wonder, by the way, this game, with whatever it was made with and however it was set up, oh, by the way, this only, yeah, it just launched same day as Skeleseller. So if you launch this another year from now, would these reviews trend a little bit higher just because people are more used to AI? And then 2 years from now, would it have trended a little bit higher? I don't know how many reviews complain about AI, but just still, if any did complain about it, would they complain less? I think we're like 18 months from people being cool with it. I think it is a sliding scale, and I think that more and more people will be okay with it, because I think there will be just less choice. It's like, if you want to find, I don't know, like purely human-made software, first of all, it's not something you can verify as a consumer. And second, it's not, it'll probably be a marketing point for some people, but for other people, they might be like, I just don't care. There's a kind of equivalent thing, which I don't want to go into too much detail about, but there's like a made in USA concept where like a lot of these goods are just more expensive, but they were made in this country. And some people value that, so then they can buy those goods. But it turns out a lot of people do not. A lot of people want whatever's cheapest. They have different opinions. Do you know, could you roughly sum up what those opinions are? Because I have not heard of this myself yet, and I am curious. So we go back into option item here. We can get the play sound thing to be the hover button. Now let's hear how loud this is compared to maybe the footsteps or something. I also hope it sounds pretty good in the game. And I did pitch shift it a little bit. So this does not play sounds. This will eventually need to. Oh, it's not playing any sounds because I muted it. And now we lost the focus. I don't think it should pitch shift that much. Maybe we set this to like 0.9 and 1.1. It's not going to change it on the fly. I didn't expect it to. But yeah, you can apparently lose the focus here. How did I do that? Yeah, whatever. At some point, they won't be able to tell what's real and what's AI anymore. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I was saying. I mean, this isn't something you can like validate ahead of time. It's like if I gave you, I don't know, a drink, juice, let's say, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is orange juice, and you try it and it's apple juice, you'd be like, this is not what you said it was. Like if you use software and I say, oh yeah, this was made entirely by me, but it was actually a team of 10 people, like you can't tell. You don't know if I just took 10 times as long to do it. People applying tell AI to add mistakes just so it looks more human. Wow. Yeah, wow. So many complaints because of AI voices. I think AI will be used more and more. Yeah, and the finals uses AI voices as well. I don't think they sound bad, and I don't mind that they were AI voices. But I get that the complaint is not usually about quality. Complaint is usually about, in that case, potentially eventually putting voice actors out of a job. And that I at least understand as an argument. I also understand quality as an argument, but at least in those cases, like, I don't think you'd be able to tell very well. All right, so what did I say? I said that we probably need this to work for even when it chooses a choice for you, which is almost certainly not happening right now, but let's try it out. Yeah, this has to make sounds. Okay, that's okay. We can make it make sounds. Option item. We need it to play a sound as though the button is playing the sound, right? Where is my... Where is mine? There it is. Okay, so let's close everything else and just open that last tab. And this is on button on focus entered. Shouldn't be called that. Should be on button focus entered. Then we have a play sound here. Skip next sound played as false. We just wanted to force it to play its sound. I guess I'll just make a public thing. Public void play hover sound. Play hover sound. Put this up here. And now call this from options presenter when we fake it. And we fake it over here. How do we fake it? Force it to look like the focus style. So we could say button dot play hover sound. No, it should be a, oh man. Option item dot play hover sound. And then the final one of these happens from here somewhere. No, that's it. That should just work. Hey, Wanakis. And hey, Mr. D-Boy. Thank you for the info, by the way. I do plan on following up on that. I just haven't yet. That is so great. Very happy with that. Okay, we need button sounds for when you confirm. I'm not going to do that yet. I'll just leave that for later. Yeah. Add button sounds on confirmation. Dialogue choice. Button sounds, yeah. Okay, good. This is looking pretty nice. So we're definitely checking that in. None of this should be very difficult to review. Yep, this is very straightforward. Yep. Everything is exactly as I expected here. That's all fine. Cool, yeah. Play button sounds for dialogue options. They're even played when the choice is automated. What does it sound like if you flick up and down with the mouse permanently? Does it play the sound really often or does it restart? It will continue to play it quickly, but we have attenuation in the audio system. So as you play something more and more, it'll get rate limited. I can't find where that is. Here it is. Yeah, it is rate limited. So you can only play it so often. I'll show you what that sounds like. Making progress a bit too fast. Well, this took a lot of time to get to this point. Oh, right. I got to have audio on. Okay. Oh, you got to focus it. So I got to press tab. So that's as fast as you could play it. And we could change the rate limit if we felt like that's a problem, but no one's going to do that, right? Yeah. All right, this I'm going to hold off until the end. Do we have anything here that we can still do right now? Like, what time is it? It's 11:37. Yeah, so I want to do some, like, quick stuff. Make it very obvious that a button is selected for the dialogue choices. This was supposed to be like a theme thing, which I haven't themed the buttons yet, so we're not going to do that yet. Where is it here? Theme the dialogue buttons. Make it very obvious that the button is selected. Cool. What else? Figure out how we would add custom text effects. Yeah, I never figured that part out. I never got italics working even. I don't know how you're supposed to do that. So this is probably a good thing to go figure out for now. All right, farming.yarn. So yeah, I'm trying to use italics here. And if I change it to HTML, it would probably actually work, which is kind of funny because they have some HTML option, so it knows how to convert it, I guess. Yeah, that works. So how do we use proper italics? I wonder if we need to modify the markup thing. Where is that? There's some like markup engine or something in here, maybe? No, line presenter. Well, I don't remember where this is. All I remember is that it exists somewhere. I don't see it. Let's just search for Mark in here. Oh. Custom effects. That's not what I want though. So I don't want it on that stuff. Yeah, I don't know where this exists. I know it's possible to do this, and the demo project had something. Well, let's look at the documentation first. So components, dialog presenter, line presenter. Markup palette. Here we go. So how does this work? Create markup palette. Where do you put this? Provides a means of lightly theming your lines without requiring any code. They use a script called palette marker processor. So make a new one of these, then what? Then find it and open it. Then what do you do? Don't you need to assign this somewhere? How would it even know to use this? I mean, we could just use HTML. Because, yeah, this is kind of silly. Or wait, no, maybe the way, maybe I'm just marking up wrong in the, no, I'm not. It's supposed to look like that. Oh, fine. Let's just follow the instructions and see what happens. Tools, yarn spinner, create. So now we got to name this something. Resources, yarn, SIABT palette. Sure. Now we got to go find that. Basic marker, add. See, this is where I got stuck last time. I don't know what you're supposed to do to get this to actually show the dialogue that they have. This should have select directory and file name, then find your new palette and double click it to open the inspector. Yeah, I don't have basic marker there. I wonder if a global class is missing. Is this going to be a browser game? No, it'll be on Steam. Basic markers in a markup palette are a shortcut to defining markup tags that change only the style of text, such as changing color or whether it's bold. Stored in a palette in an array of basic marker. Oh my God, do I need to go find basic marker in here and then drag this onto this? No. All right, I don't know how you're supposed to do this. Yeah, what are you supposed to do for this? It says here, cannot give class basic marker. Oh, okay. Basic marker. Is it marked as global? It is. Why can't it get it then? Yeah, this is a problem with the library. Because this was happening to me before and I couldn't figure out. Let's go to their repo. And let's search for this. Maybe not search for error. Maybe just search for basic marker. There are no issues. What do we do? Can we figure out where this error is coming from? And why can't it get that class? There's no error in here, right? No, there isn't. Man. Can I make a new resource with basic marker? No, I can't find it here either. What could cause that problem? It must be this trying to find it, right? Markup palette? Yeah, maybe it's this. Basic marker. The only thing I could think, and this is not the case, is that this is not marked as a global class. But like I said, it's not the case. It's right there. What am I missing? Godot cannot get class. No comments. Reproduced. Hidden as resolved. Fix this error by adding these lines to custom node. So the class name is the equivalent in GDScript of C#'s global class. But then there's like export category and stuff. Maybe that's missing from here. Was it ever like, how could no one else have a complaint about this though? Let's go look at basic marker. When was this last modified? 9 months ago. Yeah. Just there's no way. Oh, and that's the only history it has. This custom node and add-on register script. Add custom type. We don't have that sort of thing, do we? Add custom type. Well, well, well. They do have a couple of custom types added here. They just don't add the basic thing? Do we just need to do that? Name of basic marker, type resource, base resource. And then we need the right script here and then the icon. So we got to find this. What is this supposed to be? Yeah, let's just duplicate this. What do we call this? Basic marker script. And now we got to find out where basic marker is. It's in runtime. And then we just put this here. And then what? So this cannot get, we might need to reload. I don't believe that this is how you have to fix this, because how would they have made their documentation without this being added? Oh my God, it worked. Wow. I am impressed. So if I want to italicize text, I can type I here. Is that it? How do I actually use this thing? I got to file an issue for sure. Yeah, how is this supposed to work? Yeah, they just use B. Okay. Then what? Don't I need to say that I'm using this from somewhere? Something's got to say that it's using this. Hey, Sorcery. Thanks for the raid. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How went the stream? Wait, sorry, I'm looking at this. Colony Sim and RPG game. Cool. Yeah. Yeah, howdy, everyone. Sorry, I don't recall if we've talked about your game before. I feel very bad if we did. But yeah, welcome in. Yeah, things are pretty good. Yeah, I hope you're doing well. Like I said, thanks again. We are working on a dialogue system for the new game I've been working on since 2 weeks ago, pretty much. So I started coding last week, and the thing I'm trying to figure out right now, we're using something called Yarn Spinner. And it's actually pretty cool. If people haven't seen this, I'll show this off briefly. This is not my work, but farming.yarn. So you can have dialogue laid out in pretty much a text file. It can have choices in there. You can have function calls. You can have formatting. And I've got all of this stuff working except for the formatting. I want this to be italicized text. And it might just work now. I'm not actually sure. I did something, but I didn't tell anything about, oh, no, that doesn't work. Okay, I don't know what that was about. Yeah, no, that is not working. Is that going to happen every single time? No, it's not going to happen every single time. But there's some way to correlate this formatted markup to my dialogue runner, and there is no connection there yet. Yeah, it is really nice. So I can show this in a sec. Let me at least see if I can figure this part out. Where did that documentation go that talked about this? Here. So what do they say? Markup palettes use a script called palette marker processor to replace markup with your desired content. That I think we saw. It just says markup palette. There is no processor. I don't know where the processor is. Oh, well, they say in Godot this part. Okay, fine. To get started, create a new one. We did that. Select a directory, then find it and double click it. We did that. And then that's it. How do you use it? Huh. A script which takes your resource and uses it. Yeah, so we got to do this somewhere. It reads each tag, registers replacements. This replacement will be performed before any of your presenters receive the text. The system works with this as well as any other things. Oh, I think I know what we have to do. I think we have to specify it as a, maybe as a dialogue presenter. I'm not actually sure. I mean, I do use AI on the stream. I don't use it extensively. Yeah, I heard of Ink as well. The problem with Ink was that it didn't seem like it supported localization out of the box. Ink dialogue. Yeah, I found this Reddit thread, I think it was yesterday, and someone said I would recommend not using Ink when it comes to localization. Now, if you only plan on producing your game in English and it's working, then by all means that's great. But yeah, if you are planning on localizing eventually, and I do think it's a good idea if you want to productize your game, then apparently it's a gigantic pain to use Ink. Although I know you said worked with, it might not be for your current game. Trying to get your head around it. Yeah, yeah. I took a bunch of time yesterday doing this stuff. And then I've gotten it mostly working. Just like I said, I do want to show off at some point. Where did I just put that tab? Here. Okay, so let's just close every other tab because this is a nightmare right now. Palette marker processor. Palette marker processor is here, and it is replacement markup handler. Where do you attach this? First, add this to your scene, then drag and drop the markup palette into it. Also set the line provider. Okay, that's easy. Add an instance of palette. No, it's just a node, I guess. So I put this somewhere over here. And we give it the palette marker processor. And then we give it the line provider. Line provider. What is a line provider? I have line presenter. What is it supposed to be? All right, well, the palette we can quickly load in here. There we go. The line provider, I don't know what that's supposed to be. A text line provider, unless you created a custom line provider script. I don't know. Also, I gotta write down that we gotta file a bug. File a bug on the basic marker not being registered. It's probably the same as the custom one. No dialogue, maybe someday. Just a systems heavy thing. I see. Yeah. Do you want to share a page or something, by the way? I certainly don't mind. I'd like to take a look. What is the line provider? Text line provider. I think we have one of these built in somewhere. Yeah. But this probably is somewhere in a default way. Text line provider. Yeah. What uses this? They mentioned this somewhere in the docs. Let's see if we can find it. Text line provider. It's like the default. It's a default line presenter, I think. Provider. No, line provider. Components that are responsible for taking the line objects that the dialogue runner produces, fetches the appropriate localized content. Dialogue runner produces line objects. Yarn spinner comes with a built-in one that fetches the text of the line, given a language. Set the yarn project in the inspector. I'm still a little confused at where we have this thing. Yeah, I do not know. Oh, there it is. Where is this in the scene? Oh, it's down there. Oh my God. I thought that was something else. Okay, whoops. It was there the whole time. I was only looking at green nodes. And as soon as I hit this one, I'm like, I should just stop paying attention now. Okay, my bad. This should have been way easier than I thought it was. Yeah. Why is it a node 2D? It has no reason to be a node 2D, right? Huh. So now it should just work? Soon, TM. Okay, cool. Yeah. Well, when it is there, feel free to share it in here. Link you to a video I post on social media. Yeah, sure. Look at that. It's working now. We have italics. Now, why is this happening every time, though? Cannot access a supposed object. Compile errors property editor. Maybe this is when I set something through the scene tree. Yeah, I got to file a bug on this. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow afternoon or something. This involves me modifying the code, which means if they do fix this, I'm going to have to update it. Okay. Well, anyway, let me show this game off from the beginning. So for those who haven't seen this, take a look. This is a story-driven kind of comedy game. It's called Stuck in a Broken Tutorial. And it might not make sense what's going on until you actually play, and I have more of it here. But yeah, so here's how the game starts. So we're actually in a platformer here. And it's teaching you some basic stuff, right? Like press A in the air to double jump. So you work your way over here. You learn how to dash. You can actually jump and double jump and then dash again. And you get to this section. It says try to collect all the diamonds in one go. But you can't. And you fall through the world. This is the one music track I've made so far. Missing some sound effects. Just imagine whoop. We fade to black. And you wake up. And now you're in a farming game tutorial. And ignore this. This dialogue isn't going to be like this, so let me just skip through this. But yeah, I've coded some basic farming mechanics. You can plant some seeds. You can water your seeds. And you can use your shovel. We're missing a bunch of sounds for that stuff too. And that's it so far. That's what we've got. Like a minute and a half of gameplay. Well, like I said, we only started the coding last Monday. So, I mean, it's going pretty well for that. But yeah, in this farming game, you're going to mostly have that tutorial guy talking at you. And then you're going to plant some crops. You're going to water them. And once you've done like roughly maybe this, you can go to sleep. And when you go into your house and go to sleep, which you can't do yet, then you'll wake up in a combination of this world and the platformer. And you'll go back and meet that character again. Thanks, Magna. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with how things have gone so far. There's a lot of polish we need for all these games, of course, but eventually you'll go into more and more worlds. Do you have like a bank account, or how do you win? Yeah, you have a bank account, and when it hits $100, you win. That is the plot of the game, to get $100. No, it's a story-driven game, so you learn more about the world. You make it through these tutorials. You keep trying to break out, and you eventually, do story things, which I'm just not revealing here yet. All right, what time is it? 12 o'clock. We got this working. But technically we need to add in the other class here too, or else we can't ever add in custom markers. Oh no, custom markers there. Wait, what? Hold on a second. How is custom marker there, but basic marker wasn't? How does that work? I had to add in, I don't even know where that code was. Yeah, yarn spinner plugin, here it is. I had to add in basic marker myself. But I did not add in custom marker. Maybe it adds in. It doesn't refer to it though. Strange. Showcases newly implemented building mechanics and such. And I can play it on stream, right? You're okay with that? I'm assuming you are because you posted it publicly. But I would like to ask for permission still. Yeah, okay, good. Yeah. All right, so I'm not going to play the audio though. And since this is 2 minutes long, I'm going to probably skip through it a little bit. And he said showcases building and such. Yeah. Oh, nice. Oh, I see. It's an outline for them to build. Pretty cool. All right, let's see when they built this. Oh, so you can build different layers too. Very neat. And I'm guessing you manually lowered the height of the world it renders. And a day-night cycle. Yeah. Very nice. Yeah, nicely done. Am I on my account? I am on my account. Now I'm following. Yeah. It's very cool to see what everyone's up to on Twitch. And I always like seeing how games progress too. I ended up making a video for Skeleseller, and I'm so glad I did this. But yeah, this shows from the very beginning where I had a prototype to once we had the game looking like this to seeing it evolve over the years. And then the UI looked like that. And then we finally got to like the final game over here. I guess it was over here. And yeah, it'll be nice to do something like that for this new game too. Although I think every individual sub game is going to have its own level of polish. And then once we're done, we can kind of just say we're done. Okay, so how is it that custom markers are working fine here? And if I deleted my code from this, like if I just got rid of that and then restart this whole thing, what would happen? I think I know what's probably going on. I think if you don't have a palette marker processor that it doesn't let you use these nodes, I think that's what's happening. It's got to be what's happening. In fact, we can just go confirm it right now. This probably calls add custom type. It doesn't. But it refers to basic marker, and maybe that alone is enough for this to work. Yeah, I'm almost positive this is what's going on here. So if I make a new resource like this, actually it doesn't matter if I make a new resource or not. If I just load this up, yeah, I think that's what's happening. Okay, I think this requires palette marker processor to be added to the scene for you to be able to use basic marker and custom marker. If you want it to be usable ahead of time, you would need to add code like this. Add code to yarn plugin, yarn spinner plugin.cs. Ever play Evoland? I think I did briefly, but like very briefly. I am familiar with the concept at least. It starts out looking like a Game Boy game and it kind of gets to a 3D game at some point. Yeah, I think I play this for something, like 5 or 10 minutes. I play a lot of games for 5 or 10 minutes, and then I end up uninstalling them. I'm not saying this is a bad game or anything. I just have very specific wants out of games. Add your game to my wish list. Didn't know you're on Blue Sky. Oh, cool. Yeah. I don't post on Blue Sky pretty much ever. I've just never liked this style of website. So Twitter, this, Mastodon, I don't personally see the appeal. But I still like following people. The prototype final video reminded me of it. Yeah. Okay, we have made a lot of progress. I'm very happy about this. I want to get back to the farming game stuff this afternoon, I hope. I'm not totally sure what we'll do. Or maybe we'll flesh out the dialogue or something. I don't know. We'll just flesh out the whole game. Hey, Reef. Game dev journal separated for watching later. Nice. Yeah. All right, cool. Yeah. Hey, Trons. Wouldn't it be better to just make the final version of the game instead of changing it little by little many times before we get there? It would be better. If only I could do that. And then I don't engage too much with it either. Yeah, I think part of it. So Twitter has its own. I mean, this is the difference between Blue Sky and Twitter. Twitter has its own algorithm that it uses for everything, right? Blue Sky's got, I don't even know what because I didn't fully learn it, but like lists or something that you can subscribe to, and then let those people kind of control what you see. And I just want the platform to give me something that I find interesting. And with Blue Sky, I would scroll for a while and I'd see a lot of posts with like 1 or 2 likes. And that doesn't necessarily mean they're bad, but it either means that they're new or that not a lot of people like them. So it's hard to know like what is actually worth following. But I think it's just lack of interest mostly. All right, so spent the morning improving the dialogue system from yesterday. Added sounds. What else did we do? I don't remember. Get log -10. Button sounds, disabled options, prevented input, layouts better, clean some things up. Yeah. Looks, sounds, functionality, etc. Okie dokie. Yeah, I would love to finish this. And I guess we don't have too much more to do, right? It was figure out how to do this, which I just did. File a bug, which is probably pretty simple. Figure out a simple localization workflow, which I already kind of did, but I didn't really solidify yet. Add them to the credits. We don't even have credits, but yeah, it's easy enough to do. Probably need an indication the game's waiting for input. Yeah, that I haven't done either. Merge my branch. Make a single component out of this. File an issue about their markup sample. What is that? Markup sample didn't work. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think we should get back to the farming game. So how about like flesh out the dialogue and the opening to the game? Right now, it just throws you into the dialogue immediately. We should probably throw you into a cutscene where the guy walks over to you and starts talking. Oh, I am hungry and need to take a break. I've been streaming now for 4 hours. So I'm going to go get my lunch. I'll be back in about an hour. I'll probably stream for another maybe 2-3 hours in the afternoon. Just a quick schedule for the rest of the week. Tomorrow is going to be a half day with only a focus on music. So we'll probably do some like piano improv and maybe some like chiptune stuff. I'm not totally sure. And then Friday is going to be, I'll be on the Twitch front page and there's going to be some amount of like just playing Skeleseller, maybe in the afternoon. And maybe the morning will be development. I don't know yet. And I'm open to ideas because I don't really have a lot planned for Friday and probably should have more planned. But yeah, thank you for watching so far. Need to get there to take care of myself. Yeah, thank you for the raid. Sorry to have ended so soon after, but cool to see your game. And yeah, best of luck. And thank you all for watching. I will see you in about an hour. Take care, everybody.